Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
People are giving their awards, giving their thoughts on how wrestling went in the year and all that. And it's time for us to kind of put our little eggs in that basket, as you will. So, yeah, an idea we had last year didn't really come off the ground, but we're here this year. We're going to talk about the year as a whole, not only just with WWE, but we're going to talk about NXT, maybe a little bit of TNA and AAA, AEW, all that stuff. But yeah, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the mediocre at best when it comes to the entire world of professional wrestling. We've got some awards to go out. We got some arguments to have, some debates, if you will. You know, we might have some hot takes here, but that's what you come here for, as always, to the Weebs of the Ring YouTube channel. Or if you're listening on the audio feed, love to hear you guys from there. But hey, let us know in the comments, in the chat, all your thoughts on the year of professional wrestling, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to talk about it all. And as always, we've got our lovely panelists here, our lovely co-hosts here. Of course, I am your reigning, defending, undisputed universal heavyweight champion of the world, Whawkins here. I'm going to be y'all's MC, I guess, for the evening, as these two gentlemen will bring their picks to me and we will decide, or I will decide, mind you, who will walk away with the ultimate prizes. Because, hey, these two are going to bring it. They're going to give me their reasonings, and I'm going to see which one is the best. So, as always, to my right, we have the self-proclaimed visionary, the self-proclaimed revolutionary, the Bill Goldberg #1 stan. I'm surprised he didn't try to put him for one of the awards tonight. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is Legend D Vash back again from being taken over by The Rock. Vash, how you doing tonight?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages? It's your boy, Vash D Legend from the House of Tempest, and your legendary Tranquilito from the Whale of Latino Heat. It's great to be here. It's great to be back. It's great for this discussion for first annually Weebs of the Ring Weeby Award of the wrestling, not just WE, not just AW, TNA, AAA, New Japan, all across wrestling of discussion. So it's great just to be here and have a discussion role of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and see where it leads to. And chat, we would love to hear also your opinion of what's yours own opinion on what is your favorite moment of the year and etc. Let us know during the show. Put the comment. You hear our version of the reward. I say reward of the award, and then you can also give your opinion on it as well. Give your suggestion. Put your nomination as well.
Yes. And as always, people, we have the lovely genius of the mat drop this box. He's going to help us process some of these stories that happened this year. Maybe, help us make sense of some of these things that were kind of iffy, especially when it comes to certain retirement runs and some other promos and matches that may have happened that may have been good, may have been bad. I don't know. He's going to help us understand all of that. But Drop, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. And it's good to have something like this on the show so we can go back in time and look at everything that's happening, because, there were some ups, there was a lot of downs for sure when it comes to WWE specifically this year. And all around, it's going to be an interesting topic of discussion.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I was putting the document together for all this and trying to go back throughout the year, a lot happened this year, but it also kind of feels like not a lot happened. It's a weird nebulous kind of feel to it, where it's just like, okay, things happened, obviously, but it's like, did anything of significance happen? Did anything that really wet the whistle and got us engaged enough with any product whatsoever when it comes to wrestling? Like, did anything really deserve an award, if we're being honest? But hey, that's the thing when it comes to like review shows, talk shows, or talk about media in general. You got to acknowledge the good, you got to acknowledge the bad, and all around just have fun with the product and have fun with what you're engaging with. But yeah, anything you guys want to point out before we begin our award show, kind of get the chat, the comments just livened up? How was y'all's day? We're here on a Thursday, getting ready for the holidays. How was y'all's day today? What'd you guys get into today while we're still just kind of getting ourselves ready for this?
Well, right now I would say your boy did ReZero stream today. So for those are our anime heads, I did ReZero season 1, watching episodes 12 to 17. So that's a lot of fun of experiencing death and seeing a character go through hardship of mental states of a lot of fuckery. So if you guys have watched it, go ahead. If you guys haven't, please do. Watch the VOD 1 and 2 on the Anime Studio Vault channel. VOD 3 will go out tomorrow. I'll be editing after this recording or early tomorrow morning before it comes out, 1 p.m. EST. And can't wait to see the last 4 episodes of the director's cut. And I'm also grabbing the other site that did their own version of the awards, so I could also have that full conversation at the end of our show, just to look back as well compared to other sites that have done their own awards in their version of this past 2025 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing this a little earlier than probably most people, but I mean it's fine. Just it's mainly because of scheduling stuff and all that. So, we're getting it in, we're getting it ready because hey, at least Sports Illustrated dropped there. So there's at least a topic of conversation right now when it comes to like end of the year stuff and all that. But Drop, how was your day? What'd you get into today?
So I did some Christmas shopping today. So I know Whawkins and Vash are going to be having some Christmas presents arriving in the mail soon. So that was fun. I got out of work around 12:30. I didn't get home until like 5 or so because I was just trying to spend most of my day just focusing on what I need to do with that. Obviously, it's not over yet because I still got a couple extra things to do before the weekend hits. So, I need to really get things together tomorrow. So when I drop their packages off, I mean, when it comes to my girlfriend's side of the family and everything, I still need to take care of that. Probably planning on getting them something all together because, unfortunately, during the summer and everything wasn't the best for me financially. So I'm trying to do what I can right now to, survive, which has obviously been a lot better. I've been working a lot more and everything. And yeah, I'm just happy after tomorrow. I can relax once I get out of work. And I can just finish those other tasks that I have. And I also, the other thing really, I got myself a new iPhone, the iPhone 17 Pro. Highly recommend it. You could record videos up to 120 frames per second, gives you 4K. It allows you to enhance the audio so you don't hear background noise, so it just picks up on your voice. So even if you're clapping or, tapping on a table, it won't pick it up. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on with me.
Very nice. Very nice. Love to hear it. Hey, you finished some or at least got a lot of Christmas shopping done, which is really good this time of the year because especially like a week before Christmas, yeah, you want to make sure you get it done now so you don't have to deal with the other bozos leading into the
Dude,
day
I'll
and
say
all
this.
that.
I'll say this specifically. When it comes to something that I got Vash tonight, thank God I got it when I did because that's completely sold out at my store anymore. We're not going to get that stuff again.
Really?
That was the last bit of it. Yeah. So he's
Well,
lucky.
look at you, Vash.
Yeah, he's
one lucky visionary over there doing whatever has it to Ram over there.
yeah.
I find it funny how like your plate of food was like right by Ram on the corner of your screen, so it's just like it looks X-rated. We'll just say that. But hey, chat.
Oh yeah.
Enough of the small talk. Enough of the preamble. Enough of the introductions. Let's get right into our nice, fun little award show here with our first award, known as the Fighter D Award.
ありがとう、戦闘員くん。
Come on.
Yes, we
There
heard
we
it.
go. Yeah,
There you
yeah, there
go.
we go. All right, cool. So this is an award that's going to the most underrated superstar, male or female. Only
Yeah.
one pick, by the way. So here are the rules for everybody for this award show. Basically, these two guys are going to give me one pick each for who they think is the most underrated wrestler in any company whatsoever. They can either be male or female. Only one pick. Notice how I'm emphasizing only one pick. If they have multiple picks, hey, that's fine. That's great. Some of them can be honorable mentions, but they only have one choice. And they have to prove to me which one which one's the most deserving to win this award. So, guys, gentlemen, Vash, I want to start with you. Your pick for the Fighter D Award this year.
My pick for the Fighter D Award is gonna go for the male and female. I'm sorry, male or and female is gonna go to
Or-
Montez Ford and Kenneth LeRae.
Only one. Only one. Do you want to be disqualified or?
All right. On a serious note, I would say Montez Ford. If I could,
There we go.
I was just giving support to the woman division, and both is hard. But Candice LeRae is an honorable mention on my end. She has done great in the stories that she's been part of. But I know that from what I heard from the guys, NXT, she's been a star in NXT. She's brutal. She's aggressive in the type of style that she is. But in SmackDown, she just gets very underwater of what the type of character that she could actually be. And that's something I have seen clips of the type of stuff she has done before, but I would love to seen her more, do more. However, Montez Ford, the reason that he's my choice is because this man has always been doing such fantastic promos every time he gets a chance. Even when we all thought the possibility of Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins not seeing eye to eye and them possibly breaking up or betraying one another because of the White Six putting themselves in their shoes and, getting themselves in the head. And just the promo, the tension, the acting of Montez Ford during those scenes has always been truly satisfying. And just saying that he's underutilized of what we could get more out of people, the fandom, even though how actual very fucking type of fickle they are online. Montez Ford has gotten a great support and people have asked for a run from him from getting the US title. He's like, hey, let's push him more as a mid card. He has the potential for that. And I see that even if myself as a fan, I want to see some success from Montez Ford. I know he works or he pushes. It's just the booking just fucks him up. And I feel like he's underutilized.
Okay. All right. Well, good little argument there from Montez Ford. And of course, Candice LeRae, I do agree with you. She is a very underrated talent. I think she is somebody that really should be utilized a little bit more, even if it is just to constantly put over other talent. But give her a shot. This is why the US title exists for the women on SmackDown, to give people like Candice LeRae a shot. Give her something to do, something to fight for, even if she's not going to be in the main title picture. But I don't know what they decide to do now with her. And they're not doing anything with her. I don't understand why. But yeah, but I do agree with Montez Ford. He is a fine superstar. There's always the rumors of him breaking out as a single star.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, when are they ever going to pull that trigger? If they're ever going to pull that trigger, who knows? I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish they would, if I'm being honest. But they're just going to keep messing around with the tag team division. Cool, great, awesome, fantastic. But drop. Who is your pick for the Fighter D Award and why?
So I'm gonna go with Javon Evans. He's probably the most underrated superstar of 2025 for me personally, mainly because if you looked at how he started off his year, they really prepped him up for something big, because one of the very first matches he had that was a pretty big match was against Randy Orton. And you don't just put anybody up against Randy Orton. And Randy Orton himself personally wanted to go up against Javon Evans because he wanted to see how good this kid is. And I heard a lot about the kid and the indies and everything. I didn't follow everything that went on around that time. I know he had like brief appearances in AEW, but I don't think he was there for that long. But you can obviously see, based on everything that we've seen with him this year, they have a lot of faith in him. Because, I mean, another highlight you can bring up is that triple threat match that he had with Obafemi and Trick Williams at Stand and Deliver. Me and Vash actually have a clip that's actually on our TikTok of us reacting to that match. And if I'm not mistaken, I might have uploaded at least 2 parts of that match because there was just a lot of, I mean, he's bouncy, he's very energetic. He basically has like all you really need to like craft the perfect superstar. Like if you were to go inside of a Build-A-Bear and you wanted to create like, the perfect wrestler, he's a great wrestler. He's good at cutting promos. He's very charismatic. He knows how to connect with the audience and everything. I mean, one of the things WWE loves the most is crafting like the perfect like underdog. He fits that like a glove. So whenever he gets into positions like that in the future, he's going to play that role very well. And then you look at what happened with him just recently, where he ended up going up against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Those are 2 legends in the game, especially when it comes to AJ Styles. Like, that's a legend that's been around for years, and his retirement's coming next year. So the fact that you're working with not just AJ Styles, you're working with Randy Orton, and then you got a veteran like The Miz that he was, working around with, because obviously, Miz helps a lot of these other younger talent to really help get them out there. He's always been that kind of guy to give back. And then you have him making all these appearances on SmackDown, and the fact that the audience is, screaming bouncy, like they know him. It's just a similar thing that I'll talk about once we get to our next category and everything when it comes to that. But that's basically my reasoning behind this, because you could tell when you see these superstars in motion who their favorites are. And it's unfortunate to say that, but you could really tell who their favorites are. And he's definitely one of them, and I see him having a very bright future. And I feel like he's going to have a good 2026 if things go according to plan based on what I'm envisioning in my head. Because, I mean, you're throwing him against all these different kinds of obstacles. He's able to climb the mountain, and he's able to just win people over, just like me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I would agree with you too. They're very high on Javon Evans, and probably as high as he can jump. So that's saying something, because that boy be bouncy. Yeah, they're utilizing him a lot on TV, not only just on NXT but on the main roster. And yeah, to have him go against people like Dragon Lee and AJ Styles on the main roster, that speaks numbers for how they view him in the company. Unfortunate, that we're getting him against the Americanos on Raw next week. But I mean, I guess once you get moved up, or possibly get moved up, you got to go through the rankings instead of getting the special treatment.
Yeah.
So, that's just the whole WWE 2K system that they like to go through and all that, and go under and everything. But yeah, he has a bright future in WWE. And I remember reading somewhere that his style, even though he does a bunch of flippy doos and high flying stuff, it's still like a safe style. Apparently, like he's still like able to, like, obviously he's still getting bumps and bruises and all that, but it's nothing to the point where he might not be able to walk later. So it's great that he's getting pushed like this. Between the two, between Montez Ford and Javon Evans, I'm actually going to go towards Javon Evans with this, because and the reason being for him winning is mainly because oh well, hold on, wait a minute, because this is the underrated superstar, and they're actually using Javon Evans where they barely use Montez Ford. So you know what? Switching it up a bit. You're seeing history in the making here, folks, with the first one. A big old switch up as I'm talking about it. Choosing Montez Ford because they need to use him more. And the fact that they don't is criminal. I think the last time they even used him, he was playing the masked guy that we just got revealed to be Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, unless they're gonna do a twofer and have Montez Ford join the Vision, which I doubt, because I don't necessarily see where he would fit unless him and
Yeah.
Dawkins are going over. But I really don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. But so for underrated superstar in 2025, the Fighter D Award is gonna go to Montez Ford because WWE, you need to use your boy because he is good.
Yep.
Like, stop sleeping on him. Oh man. But for some of the honorable mentions I put on here, we mentioned Candice LeRae. Carmelo Hayes was mentioned as well. Drop, I know you were going back and forth between him and Javon Evans. So he's also one that's highly underutilized and underrated on the main roster. But I'm glad they're actually using him a little bit more. Vash, you had put Julia as another um, honorable mention, which
Yeah,
agreed, yes.
I would say she's a good one because for the first 6 months or 4 months of the year, she was utilized well in NXT, but then they kind of dropped her with Stephanie Vaquer being a double champ and then transition her to SmackDown. And then the last 6 months is where like, yo, what the fuck you doing, Julia? It's like they don't know, and then having her team up with Kiana James is like cool, but who's this helping? Is this helping Julia or is this helping Kiana? Who's the one that is this supposed to benefit from? So it's just mix up a lot. But the one that Ethan Page we have here as the honorable mention.
Yeah.
Even I just saw a tweet today saying that he's been champion of the North American and now with the mixed tag team, at least for the last 6 months. So like he's actually been utilized very well for NXT standards.
Yeah, another thing I was going to throw in there with Julia is I kind of feel like, as I was listening to Solid Monster and JD doing the Tuesday Night Titans, and they typically do the same thing as us and Cultaholic and everything, where they talk about all these different reports going on and everything and go and give their thoughts on the whole wrestling space. And one of the things that they did mention is that there is supposed to be a rumored PLE that's supposed to be happening in Italy next year. And they said and then I remember Solo Monster mentioning this, saying if Julia's not on that show, just stick a fork on her, because that just shows you right at that point if she's not featured in that Italy show, because she's not just Japanese, she's also Italian as well. So it's like if you're not putting her on that show itself, giving her any sort of significance, then that just tells you right there she's probably just gonna walk away and just go back to Stardom or do whatever she needs to do next. Because if you want to talk like most unappreciated like superstar, for sure, I mean,
yeah,
she's definitely up there in like the top 3 for me, because I mean, whatever they're doing with Vaquer right now, they could easily be doing the same thing with Julia, and now she's a background character. Like, imagine Asuka coming back after being away from an injury or something for so long, and then she's just a background character. Or Io Sky's a background character. You know, big talent like that are just like her end up transforming into background characters. Like, you don't do something with her at that show, just honestly, I would just say, just you're gonna end up sticking a fork in it, and just not worth the time anymore, because that just tells us as the audience you don't care for her, especially if it's a show like that, which you know that you typically put people on there if they're Italian, or if it's a show in Mexico if they're Mexican, or if it's a show in Jamaica and you got some Jamaican talent on there. They or some place in Canada, or Chelsea Green or Ethan Page, or if Edge was still in the company, you know, featuring Edge on there and everything. That just tells you you don't take the opportunity right there. Just don't even bother her anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, I always just go back to her in the crowd for that NXT show, being shocked that people were like cheering for her and all that. Like she had such a big backing going into the company. I just don't understand
Yeah, I don't get it.
what they're not doing, why they're not capitalizing on her as a talent and just letting her go out full force. Instead, you'll lump her in with Kiana James for what reason? Like, why? Is it just to give Kiana something to do with? If that's the case, no, I'm fine because I was optimistic at first, but from what you guys have done so far, which is almost nothing, and in fact, you kind of had Julia drop that title almost shortly after that. After this little team up, so it's just like, what are we doing then? Like, you're not elevating her to the main event picture because Jade Cargill now has the title, and she's probably going to be holding that until Bianca comes back. So it's like, just what are we doing? Just move her to Raw. Move her to Raw so she can like be in that picture. I mean, I know the women's division over there is stacked as fuck, but I mean, it's better than where she's at with SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like, move somebody from Raw over there.
I was thinking that too. You could easily insert her with Asuka and Kyrie right now.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Yeah, she would have fit in fine with them.
Yeah.
Oh man. And well, speaking of them, I did put Kyrie in as an honorable mention because she's a tag team champion right now, but I feel like, with this story with her and Asuka against Io and all that, I'm hoping they do push the part of the story where it's like Kyrie was manipulated in all of this, so that way maybe hopefully she can be elevated and actually like maybe win a singles championship for once, besides like an NXT championship or whatever, because she is really good in the ring. Like, she is really good. It's just, she gets put in these positions where she has to be the fall person, which, that's her job at the moment. I just want better for her. That's just me though. But again, congratulations to Montez Ford for winning the Fighter D Award.
Vox Populi, the people's voice.
Good job on you. So now we are going to move on to our next segment here, which is known as the 2-Year Time Skip Award.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So this is the category for the most improved superstar, male or female. Only one. So
What's
this
that?
goes to
Or and is what I keep hearing. Or.
So basically this is going to be for the person who's improved the most throughout the year. A lot of people finally get their shot, finally get their chance, finally get their moment. Do they capitalize on it, or do they fall under the pressure? We're looking at the ones that capitalized on it and got better throughout the year. So Vash, go ahead, give me your pick for the 2-Year Time Skip Award.
So, chat, I had originally Maxine Dupree as my choice, but I'm gonna swap. I'm a honorable mention Maxine Dupree. Honorable mention. She's great. So for what she has done in her career already from start to beginning, by the start of January to now, she has elevated herself. Even her first title defense or match that she did this past Monday against Natalia, very well solid. It was very aggressive, and it showed the training that she's been putting herself in the dungeon. It fucking works. But the one I'm gonna choose, because of Kevin Nash himself, that she has elevated herself since the earlier start of WrestleMania, I believe, or Elimination Chambers first started, I believe. I remember the top of my head, Raquel Rodriguez. She is my recommended because she has literally, we had Kevin Nash who literally just said, hey, you're a big person, act like a big person, use that strength, use the characteristic of your character. And guess what? Raquel implemented that almost a week later and just changed her regimen, and it shows her in-ring ability. And I was entertained myself. Whawkins dropped, and a few other content creators and fans have noticed it, posted their thoughts online, and like ourselves. And we noticed that, Raquel, and as a fan, I was impressed. I support. Me as a fan, what I want out of these superstars, out of this wrestler, is to improve, grow, and become much better. That we see the vision that you are trying to do for yourself. And Raquel was trying to push through. She even right now is going for the world title. So hey, I see the potential, I see the growth, and right now she's been doing great. So she has been doing very well for her 2025. Because I know for anybody have seen her 2024 with her rocky path that she's been going with her own skincare and stuff with her own conditions, just to see her just soar through the skies in 2025. Very happy for her.
Okay, you know what? That's a solid pick. Surprised you didn't switch with the other one you had on there, but you know what? I'm happy with the pick you gave because yeah, I second a lot of what you just said there, you know, and we've said it here on the show. Hell, you had the biggest like turnaround with third too, because you you were one of the biggest haters of her when it came to her being a bodyguard and all that. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, all she needed to do was just have Liv get injured and just do her own shit. It's just like, oh, that's all she needed.
And also have Kevin Nash make a tweet and literally say, hey, you know,
Well,
get
that
good.
too, yeah.
Like, hey, girl, use your best abilities to your advantage. And it worked.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, and I mean, I agree with you too with like Maxine Dupree. You know, she has come leaps and bounds. It's funny. I forgot who I was listening. It might have been Cultaholic. Yeah, it was because they were doing like one of their news videos and all that. And it finally crossed my mind. Like, she wasn't like an indie darling or anything. She never like really did much in the indies. So most of her growth in ring has been like in the WWE system, but not only that, like a lot of it has been on the main roster. So like we've witnessed
Exactly.
her growth in her ability. So to see where she's come from I don't know, let's call a spade, absolute dog shit, to you know, hey, you can actually carry a match with Ivy Nile.
That, but
Awesome,
also
great.
knowing that she did this by telling the audience that her first match ever was on a live television show of Monday Night Raw.
Mhm.
That was a live
Yeah.
show her first time. So to be having a live show and improve on the main roster and improve on live shows that they have on different dates, but on top of that, go on your own time to train by Natalia at her personal dungeon. Like, that is commitment. That's you acknowledging that you want to improve at the job that you have, that many people don't have the opportunity to learn on the job and be on the job on live television and improve on the go. Some people will crash and burn, but she's taking into advantage to say, hey, if I want to stick this through and succeed, I got to do my own time, go to my own 9 to 5, and also make time to do her Pilates and do her own stuff and training at the dungeon with Natalia. So that's why I give her the honorable mention. She's that props. And yes, Whawkins, on everything you said.
Yeah. Good. All right, go ahead and give us your pick and why they deserve to win this prestigious award.
So I alluded to it in the previous reward. So I'm going to say Obafemi for me is probably the most improved superstar. And the reason why I say that is because he's only been involved in wrestling for only 3 years. He had no experience of wrestling beforehand, because before he was involved in wrestling, because they even mentioned this on commentary, they find all these different kinds of superstars, a part of the NIL program. And what he did prior to this, he was actually a shot putter in college, which has no correlation of wrestling at all whatsoever. It's essentially like a track and field event where you're just throwing a heavy metal ball as far as you possibly can and just using one hand from your shoulder to pursue that action and everything. So obviously that explains why he looks the way he does. He probably worked out a lot when he was doing that. So it's like that's all he was really used to. So once he inserted himself in this program, I still remember he was a part of NXT Level Up when that was a thing. He had his moments there. He didn't really know exactly like how to fit into this space. But then once it hit that point where he got that contract, and I know they do this in NXT every year, where if you get this contract, it's pretty much like the equivalent of what the Money in the Bank contract is on the main roster. You get a shot at whatever title you want. It could be a mid-card title or it could be a main title. And I remember he went after the title that Dragon Lee had. And Dragon Lee ended up losing the title. And then Obafemi, he ended up setting a record where he had 270 days with the North American Championship. And then he also won the Iron Survivor last getting into last year. And then pretty much this January, when it comes to New Year's Evil, that's essentially what brought us to where Obafemi is now. Once he got that main title, once he defeated Trick Williams, and I forgot the other guy's name, but it doesn't really matter anyway. He was a jobber. But that's besides the point. He got that title there, and then he was able to rise, and he was able to have that match with Javon Evans and Trick Williams. He was able to have matches with Moose once they started that WWE XTNA partnership, and then he was able to just feud between him and Trick for a little bit, because that's what was really building to before Javon inserted himself in there and everything. And then you just saw recently this year that he got the opportunity to go up against Cody Rhodes. And when you look at something like that, not everybody gets a shot at Cody Rhodes. Just like not everybody gets a shot at John Cena. John Cena says that you have to earn that in order to get to him, just like how Gunther did. Regardless how people feel about it or not, he did win that tournament, and we're gonna have to respect the decision of that. Just like if we inserted a tournament and we won, people would have to respect how far we got. And when it comes to Cody choosing him, obviously he did it for a reason, because he sees what he can do. He sold very well to just make Obafemi look like this dominant force. And I'm going to take another thing that I also heard from JD's podcast when it comes to Off the Script, when a Tuesday Night Titans, that I'm actually starting to see the vision a lot more. And this is actually a perfect segue, because there is a current superstar that is in the vision. This has no connection of him joining that. But I'm starting to see that, yes, they are pushing Braun Breaker. Yes, Braun Breaker is going to do good things in the future. But there's a part of me thinking that Obafemi might take the ball and run with it a little bit farther than Braun Breaker. That's just the kind of potential that I see in him. If you just look at everything that he's doing, now he knows how to cut promos better. Now he knows how to, he's really good in the ring when it comes to putting on performances with so-and-so wrestler, especially against a main event talent like Cody Rhodes, who's a veteran in the game, who's done a lot for the business itself, not just WWE. You know, the fact that he's able to do all of these different things in a span of 3 years. You had no prior wrestling experience. You've only been doing it for 3 years, and you're already this far. You improved this much, and you're going up against the top guy in the company right now. Like, sure, you didn't get John Cena because you weren't a part of the tournament, but you still went against the top guy of the company as of right now. And that's crazy. And then you saw, and Whawkins, you were there in person to experience it yourself. The whole audience knows who this dude is. They're doing the chants for him. He just has that strut where he's walking down to the ring. Like, you could easily like vision that in your head of like whenever he's going down a WrestleMania ramp one day, where you hear the loud chants, where you see that strut and everything. Like that to me, we want to talk about like these key pillars in the future. And this guy is like, you know, still so young. He's definitely somebody that I can see. I'm not saying I want this to happen, but there's just a part of me thinking he might run a little bit faster than Braun Breaker when it comes to this. It's always the ones you least expect. Like, we're all expecting Braun just because of his position that he's in, which I'm sure it's still going to be successful regardless. But there's always guys like this that just pop out of nowhere, and they have their story to tell of how they got here. And that's pretty much my stance on Obafemi. Like, he's just been doing tremendous.
I mean, that stance for Obafemi, it kind of wins him the 2-year time skip award. I'm going to say that right now. Like, as much of an improvement as Raquel Rodriguez has made, like, because she has come leaps and bounds.
I agree.
Drop kind of hit it on the nail on the head. Is the fact that in, what was it, like 3 years time, Oba went from being, because I think he was part of like that next in line
contract.
Yeah. for NXT. So he went from that, and within 3 years, he's facing the face of the company. Like that's some insane both pushing and insane work from him, because like it's one thing for them to like push a guy to be at that top spot. We've seen that plenty of times with people like Roman, who was not ready for that top spot when they pushed him to that, and the fans knew that. The fans could feel that, and that's why they pushed back on it so hard, because Roman just wasn't ready. Hell, that first promo he had with Cena went the way it did, with Cena being like, I do this better part-time than you do it full-time. Yeah, he got cooked there for a reason. But like with Oba, when he had that promo with Cody before Saturday night's main event, that immediately sold me on the match and like made me fully want Oba to win that match. And unfortunately, the match happened and ended the way it did. Cool moment to have Drew run by you and all that, but that's besides the point. Like, just knowing that this guy has a bright future, because like earlier today I was just kind of taking some time to just kind of brain rot a little bit, because now that I'm like on my Christmas vacation, I can just chill for a bit. I was just like, okay, let me just shut my brain off, let me just scroll through TikTok for a bit. I saw a lot of TikToks of people just doing the Oba strut for whatever reason, whatever have you, for whatever meme they were trying to get over. But the fact that like it's already over like that, it is something.
Did you
like
do the strut? Did you do the strut when you were there, like when his entrance came out? Did you do the strut over there?
I was recording the entrance, so I didn't really do it too much because I didn't want to like shake my camera too much. But because I wanted to get the full crowd experience, the full like crowd reaction to it. And yeah, the crowd, I think I sent you guys that clip too. Like,
yeah,
no, and I think I posted it on social media as well. Like, the crowd is fully behind Obafemi. Like, they know who he is and all that. And that's what I was getting at with like the whole TikTok thing. Like, people are doing that, and to have something that people can latch on to, something that gets people to remember you by, you're already winning right there, at least in my book. So speaking of winning, though, Obafemi wins this award. I did put Braun Breaker on here because he has improved, especially recently with some of his promos that he has been cutting. Really great work from him. And also seconding the ideas that Vash put out with Maxine Dupree. I did put Ricochet on here, and I want you guys to hear me out, because I think with Ricochet, his most improvement comes from his character work.
Agreed.
And again, hear me out, because like I know his character is a bit cringy. I get it, I understand that, and I understand that's kind of what he's trying to get across with it. And fine, cool, whatever. But it's like, I feel like with him, he's gotten more of a confidence with that, with like being a character and like actually being able to be on the mic. Like, yeah, some of his mic skills aren't the best still, but they are getting better. And I at least wanted to highlight that, because I know he gets a lot of hate for his character, especially like at the beginning of his AEW run, when people were just like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like, who are you? This isn't Ricochet, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is an asshole. But like, I feel like he's kind of eased into it a little bit.
If I could agree with you guys, one, this stance on King Ricochet is like I like to call, since that's what he calls himself on Twitter. I agree with the stance. He has improved. I haven't been on, like, for example, out of the 52 episodes of AEW, chat with here right now, I probably have seen 10 to 15 of the year. Is that a lot? Is that high? No. But I've at least, out of the 52, I've seen a lot of Ricochet promos. I've seen the highlights, the clips, and everything. And he tweets at times and explains to people. He has sometimes even pointed at Blackbeard for One Piece. For those that know, that is like, not saying a inspiration, I'm not going to speak for him, but he has taken notes of the characters that he has watched and has that cringy persona. Even when you're a character on screen, even as a content creator or a character like pro wrestling that is a scripted story, you have to imagine yourself that you could use that character, like people say, like The Rock or John Cena, but turn that dial into a 11.
Mhm.
Sometimes people like Ricochet cannot turn that dial to 11. They have to turn into a different character on screen and then feel more comfortable on screen. And that's what Ricochet has shown to me, has gotten much better. I like the laugh he does, that and just point more at the camera and just laugh and just shake that head. I
So
enjoy that shit. It's cringy but
it's so
fucking
annoying.
funny.
I know. Yeah, like, and that's the thing. It's like it's so annoying and it's cringy and it's just like, but I get it. Like there's that part of my mind where it's just like, okay, I get what he's getting over. He's getting the exact reaction that he wants. I hate this. like as him being a heel, it's just like, yeah, okay, I get it. Fine, cool. But again, I feel like it's more of just like that confidence that I kind of feel within him, with all that. And plus, yeah, using some of the One Piece references too. Like I even commented on one of his things. I was just like, why are you, how dare you be a Marine? How dare you? But you know, that's for further down the road with all you people. But hey, again, our 2-year time skip award goes to Obafemi. Congratulations on winning that prestigious award.
The people's voice.
Ah, yes. Good. We are moving along quite nicely here. So next, of course, comes our. Oh, I'm excited for this one as well. So this award is known as the Talk-no-Jutsu Award. This is going to go to the best promo / segment of the year for, you know, just wrestling in general. So anybody who cut the best promo, maybe the best segment or anything. But yeah, the Talk-no-Jutsu Award.
Dummy. Yeah.
There we go. Good job, Discord. But Vash, go ahead, give us your pick for the Talk-no-Jutsu Award.
So I
And
want to
why?
give a big shout out to the honorable mention that I don't know who wrote it, but big shout out to whoever did. Punk's promo to Dwayne and John when he spoke and went to the announce table, went to the camera, and I just love how he was like this. Yeah, you see, you love coming and do this, right? Yeah, huh? I could do it too. I just love that, like that's somebody coming out of work and just heard the most bullshit from a coworker, hearing about the bullshit of work, and you just got tired of hearing the drama. You're like, you know what? Let me just stir the pot, but let me end this fucking pot myself because I'm tired of people stirring it for me. So I just love that. But the moment I'm gonna choose that kind of sealed the moment for me is CM Punk Thugonomics. Is because during that, when John spoke, a big shout out to Chris Van Lyke that had the interview, when John said that he almost broke character, which he also tells himself and the audience that he does his best not to break character ever on screen for the camera, for the script, for the writing and everything. He does his best. But he said that he almost broke character because of CM Punk telling him during the fucking promo, during the end off and everything, he said, I will miss you. Telling John during that and saying like that's when John was broke. So, and just having CM Punk do the twist that John Cena did his pipe bomb version, and now John Cena, and the CM Punk did his version of Thugonomics. It's just fucking beautiful storytelling of a rival putting themselves in your shoes, but also taking a twist, a spin on your story or of your character of a version of phase one back in the day. So like that to me was just beautiful, and just the cherry on the top, like I mentioned, just him saying, I will miss you, and having John almost break.
Okay. All right. Well, it's interesting you mentioned the pipe bomb because Drop, your pick is also very interesting, coming from the same feud that happened this year. So why did you choose John Cena's pipe bomb promo for the Talk-no-Jutsu Award?
So I'll get into this a little bit later when it comes to another category, But I will say this was probably one of my highlights of the John Cena heel turn. It might actually be the highlight that I probably like the most out of the entire heel turn itself, because I love when you rewrite history in a way that John Cena did, where he took the promo that CM Punk did all those years ago, where he was sitting right in front of the ramp and he was just going off of the rails and just not holding anything back. And obviously, if you've seen the CM Punk promo all those years ago, you know exactly what he was saying. So when it comes to John Cena here, he was pretty much doing the exact same thing. Obviously, things are reworded to fit his narrative and everything, but he was pretty much, just calling Punk a fraud. Because you look at all the things that Punk said all those years ago, and then you look at how Punk is now, and Braun Breaker even mentioned it recently in his most recent promo about Punk, I'm PG Punk. That's essentially what a lot of people call him nowadays, because he used to be very vicious back then. And John mentioned, like, there's just a lot of good things coming out of this, where he's like, you're not Punk, you're a capitalist, and you're not against TKO, dude. You're Mr. TKO because they knocked your balls technically off your body. Your tweets are strong, your actions are weak, and in Saudi Arabia, you're going to face some loud music when I finally prove to you that each and every single day, day in and day out, no days off for 25 years, I've always been the greatest of all time. The reason why he mentioned you're going to be facing some loud music is because CM Punk told Miz many, many years ago to suck a blood-covered you-know-what, because he was really against those kind of events. So when a lot of people saw him actually participate in one, people were like, holy shit, like, is this a dream? Is this actually happening? Because he's never really said anything like that. And then when you have also John Cena mentioning other people from another company by their actual names, he didn't sugarcoat them with the WWE names. He said Claudio Castagnoli, he said Nick Nemec, he said Matt Cardona, which is people that he does have history with, that he's been with in the company and everything. And again, just like how John Cena was laid out on that table all those years ago, Punk was laid out on the table. And it was just a cherry on the top. It was like the only thing that really stood out to me, honestly, that I could rewatch over and over again. And like I said, I'll get more in depth when it comes to obviously what this moment came from when it comes to the John Cena heel turn once we get to a later category. But this is what stood out to me. It was different. Cena was very creative here. I thought it was honestly just going to be like a regular back and forth between him and Punk, but him and Punk were actually creative with one another. And I like how he did this, because this is the thing that a lot of people know Punk, and he used this famous promo, and he just had his own little spin on it, telling Shu to shoot this, saying that he's breaking the wall, calling Punk the best bullshitter in the world with everything that he's saying. You're a promo potato salad. You're no longer the voice of the voiceless. You're a freaking millionaire despite yourself, which is true. A lot of the stuff that he was saying is true. Like, in a nutshell, he had Punk face reality in here with all the things that he's been saying over the year. And that's probably like my promo segment of the year, because there could have been other ones that I could have chosen, but this is the one that I wanted to choose because I felt like this one had the most weight to it. Because any other one that I've seen, if it was from a Cody or whatever, it just felt like something that I've seen before, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Like, sure, there were some highs there when it comes to certain feuds with those said characters, but this was like the cherry on the top for me.
Okay. This is a tough call here, because it's like on one hand you have the fun of the CM Punkonomics and all that, and then on the other hand you have the callback to the pipe bomb from John Cena's perspective. I think. Yeah, this is tough. This is legitimately tough. I think. I might give the win to the Thugonomics one. And the only reason with that is with John Cena's version of the pipe bomb, it's because he hit a lot of the same points that Punk did and all that. And the only difference with it is where those promos came from like a personal level. Because like with John's pipe bomb promo, because it was really good. Like I would kind of agree with you with like the cherry on top kind of thing with it. You know, especially when it came to him and Punk. Like I could see that argument with it, and I could, you know, yeah, I could just see that. But like I think the one thing that holds it back for me again is just with Punk's pipe bomb. And again, I'm kind of comparing the two because, you know, we're doing a callback with it. Punk's pipe bomb felt more real because a lot of it was kind of real. And a lot of it was Punk kind of not really talking to Cena, but using Cena more as the scapegoat or like the um yeah, I'll stay with scapegoat. Like using John as the scapegoat for how CM Punk felt against the company at that point. You know, he was really letting out a lot of steam against the company and using John as like the battering ram for that. Um, but yeah, CM Punk with the Thugonomics thing, that just it's kind of a callback to what Punk would do, where like he would kind of imitate his opponents and kind of make fun of them in that way, in that aspect. And he kind of did it here too with John Cena. I it kind of made it a little better because it was in Saudi Arabia, because I think those fans over there ate it up a lot more than American fans probably would have. So there's that aspect too with it. Um, but yeah, there's just like a level of there's just different levels to this, I guess. And I think between the two, I enjoyed the CM Punk Thugonomics one just a
Take
slight
a W.
tiny bit more than John's pipe bomb. But I do want to mention um some of the honorable mentions I had. Now, I didn't write this one down, but I do kind of want to go back to it as well. It was an AEW promo. It was mainly Hangman's promos during his time for going after the AEW World Title against Jon Moxley, kind of like going back on himself, being like, yeah, you know what, I messed up, but I'm trying to do better now. I'm trying to be a better person. You know, really kind of harken to him kind of being the main character of AEW this year, and really like getting into that aspect of his character and all that. So, you know, just a quick shout out with that. I do want to shout out John's face turn promo leading into SummerSlam, because I thought that was just a really good moment, because it's John just dropping the heel turn stuff and being like, yeah, you know what? This isn't me. This isn't what I'm about. No, I'm all about that hustle, loyalty, respect. I'm about that whole like Super Cena shit. I'm going to stop this heel stuff. I'm going to stop these heel shenanigans. Cody, you're getting me at SummerSlam. And I mean, we'll talk about the match later on. Like, it led to a really good match at SummerSlam, one that like we're going to be remembering a lot for a lot more different reasons than we'll remember their first encounter at WrestleMania, which we might also talk about a little bit tonight. But I do also want to mention, and this might be a little bit of recency bias, but, and we talked about it on Monday, Gunther's promo after making John Cena tap out. I'm sorry, out of everything this year, if I was one of these two guys right here, this would have been my pick to nominate for Talk-no-Jutsu Award, because with just two sentences, Gunther had a whole arena, had the whole world in the palm of his hands, just hating the guy, hating the bastard for what he did and what he said. Literally just saying, yeah, Saturday I made John Cena tap out. And when he was tapping out, guess what? He tapped out like a bitch, and then just everything that just proceeded, like came after that. You know, the whole American, the whole Alpha Academy just being like giving him the stink eye. Adam Pierce being like, dude, why are you being a dick? Get out of here. And the whole interaction with AJ, where it's just like, hey, AJ, nah, it's fine. It's all good. Like, just it added so much character to him and added so much to him winning on Saturday last week. Like, I'm sorry. Again, like I said it Monday, and I'm going to say it again. If you're still against that, that result from Saturday after seeing what happened on Monday, I'm sorry, you're just stupid. Like, you are just borderline, like you have a single digit IQ in that brain of yours. Like, Jesus Christ, like that was just, it was masterful work.
Chat, it shows that Whawkins is still mad at the online community being this dense when it comes to the result, in case you didn't notice.
Oh, dude, you've seen some of the. I'm sure you've seen some of the tweets and all that, and some of the comments on people's things. Like,
we got comments.
You and me, you and me have come into our disagreement, but I haven't gone like that crazy. Like, look, chat, I told Whawkins myself last night or 2 nights ago. Like, yeah, I was upset when when John Cena tapped. Even my wife was upset about it. Fine. But when I explained to her the reasoning, she understood it. Was she still happy about it? No. Was I still happy about it? No. But I know for story purposes is long term. As much as people could be mad about the booking Triple H for this year, 2025 is not his best year. Out of the past 3 years, it's not his best one. Let's look forward, chat. However, we also have to understand that this is long-term storytelling. When it comes to Gunther, we know this is not going to be his last person he's retiring. They also tease it could be AJ next. Who knows? So only time will tell. So when it comes to this, y'all could complain, but y'all gotta see the picture. Stop putting your emotions in front of it. Also, put your emotions in check. Understand that was in there for the bigger picture. So I agree with Whawkins here.
Yeah, we actually got a comment like that on one of our recent shorts that I'm actually going to reply to after this show, because there was somebody commenting on there that says, I don't care how people feel about this. I'm going to say that it should have been like, what was it? I don't know if it was Carmelo Hayes or LA Knight, either or one of those, or Braun Breaker. And like the way I look at it as well, and again, referencing the Tuesday Night Titans podcast that I listened to when I was at work today, they did actually bring up a good point. Wouldn't you rather the reaction be on a heel anyway, only because they can absorb that a lot better? And sure, Braun Breaker is a heel right now, but he's not where Gunther's positioned at the current moment.
Yeah.
So it's like, wouldn't you rather it just be somebody who could absorb that heat, not get affected by it? Like, you're starting to build Carmelo Hayes, like as of recent. Do you really want to throw him to the wolves and have him go up against John Cena? Because regardless who goes in there with the match, and you saw it with Cody, thankfully Cody's smart enough to actually, send that fire back, because he knows he's been in the game for a long time. He was able to reverse those fans numerous times when he was going up against John Cena in his promos. Not everybody can do that. It's very rare. But it's like, you're trying to build up Carmelo Hayes. You really want to send him to the wolves and have the audience like just boo him, because he's gonna get booed. LA Knight's gonna get booed. All these people that you want to see like be in the spotlight with them, they're gonna get booed. So it's just a better decision that they made right there, because this is just what they're gonna do for the long run. He could potentially be like the modern legend killer. Comes to an AJ Styles, a Brock Lesnar eventually, whoever else he comes across in the near future. I know Randy said he's going to be doing it until he's at least 50 years old or so. So it's like, you never know if Gunther is going to be around to, do something with him. And not necessarily saying it always needs to be going after some guy that he needs to take out once and for all. But it's like, I'd rather it just give someone
at WrestleMania.
Like, I'd rather it just give it to someone who's already hated heel-wise, so they can just do what he did with it that following night.
Yeah. And like that, because that's the thing too with like, because like Braun Breaker could have been in that position. The only difference with Braun Breaker and Gunther, because again, there's there's layers to all of this, not like ogre layers or onion layers. Like, no, this is more like cake layers of things. Like with Braun Breaker, he's more like the middle layer where it's just like, oh, okay, you know what? I have to work to get to this. So like that's the heel route to it. But once you get to it, there's like a sweetness to it, you know, there's a greatness to it and all that. Like, and that's part of Braun Breaker. Like there's a part of him that can turn face later on down the road. And then he'll just reconcile with John Cena. It's just like, okay, well, all that hatred's now gone now. But with Gunther, oh my God, he's a character that like he just can't be redeemed in many aspects. Like, and that's just his character. He's just a big person that like he's a big character. He's a villain. That's what he is. And I mean, I will shit you not. When he walked out of that arena, and I looked up the his entrance like on the network for that, the aura, the hockey coming off of that guy, God, that is your villain right here. That is your ultimate super villain. That is your guy that can push your ultimate baby faces to make them better, to give us that story. Like that's one thing we've been talking about this whole year, and I mean we'll mention it too later on. It's just like that one thing that like latches onto to make us believe, to make us want to see get knocked down. And Gunther can fit that role, and he will fill that role. This again, they got to capitalize and move with it, which I feel like they can. They've got a good start with it. Monday was a great start with it. Just continue on with that. But again, our good old Talk-no-Jutsu Award does go to the CM Punk Thugonomics one. Good job on you, CM Punk, for getting this prestigious award. Good job on you. So we're going to move on to our next category, our NPC Award. This goes to anybody that is just like a non-wrestler, basically. So like an authority figure, a GM, a manager, whatever have you. Our NPC Award.
Like I give a shit.
Get it? Because they're NPCs. And I won't give a shit about them. Anyways, Vash, who is your nominee for the NPC Award?
I wish I had like right here. I need a drink. This chat.
Oh,
That's my guy every week. Him say I need a drink. I love Adam Pierce. This man knows how to act like a frustrated type of parent with 25 kids and them all fighting professionally in wrestling, and it's just hilarious the way the camera pans him where he's like, I need a drink, and it's just you just see the exhaustion of Adam Pierce going through his frustration. So I really love that. So that's my big shout out to Adam Pierce, of our authority figure.
Okay, all right. That's a good solid pick. He also kind of know, like, even though a lot of chaos does happen on his shows, he does know how to just give them their own comeuppance, like we saw with Braun Breaker this year, where he's just like, oh yeah, you want to take out Seth Rollins, you want to take out our world heavyweight champion, all right, bet you're not part of the battle royal, then get out of here, you're not going to win that title, buddy. Like,
Yeah,
sorry,
it shows
like,
that,
consequences.
and it just gives where we see the interaction between Adam Pierce and Nick Aldis as well. So a big shout out to him, honorable mention for Nick Aldis, because you know this man knows how to wear a suit and tie. Like the way Nick Aldis always looks so professional and sleek. Even a big shout out from Cody Rhodes that he has even gotten complimented and that he has given credit. Hey, the reason I know how to wear a suit and tie is because of Nick Aldis. So it just shows that where the gratitude is around each other of these gentlemen. And I just, Adam Pierce just does a fantastic job when it comes to the Monday Night Raw and how Raw gives the type of aggressive persona, the wild, child son, and that's what Raw is. SmackDown's more of the cool son, more of the chill. Nick Aldis does get a few crazy episodes, but he still keeps it self-contained. But for Raw, hell is loose, but he keeps it contained.
Yeah. All right, cool, perfect. Well, yeah, he's holding hell together. That's great to see. But who is your pick for the NPC Award?
I'm probably gonna have to say Paul Heyman because he's been very entertaining this year when it comes to
Mhm.
who he's involving himself with, and it really stemmed off, and it's actually a perfect segue to our next topic as well when it comes to what we're going to be talking about. But when it comes to Paul Heyman, I liked how we started this year where he was very conflicted where he wanted to be. It was either be it Roman Reigns, like it's been for the past couple years, being the wise man for him and helping him out with everything that he needs, or to be with CM Punk, which, if you watched WWE all those years ago when Punk had that lengthy title run, him and Punk were very tight. They were very close with one another. So it's like looking at how their relationship evolved this year and looking how the favor came into place. What's the favor? What's going to be happening moving forward? And then you have Seth Rollins involving himself. And I don't want to give away too much because this gets into my reasoning for the next award. But he's just been a central figure to a lot of important storylines when it comes to what I was talking about. And then obviously now with the Vision, pretty much taking a lot of talent that's not really touched the surface yet under his wing so he can groom them and they could be where they need to be. He's always played that role very well when it comes to just plucking somebody. And Austin Theory is actually another one of his people that I remember back in the 2020, where he was actually one of those people that he plucked that he wanted to propel and everything. So now that you're looking at how the gears turning right now with what we saw on Monday, that could have been a decision on his end because that was one of his guys that he was working with originally all those years ago back in 2020 during the pandemic era when he was really behind production and everything, and he had a lot of control under certain things that was happening around that time. So he's just been like a good figure overall, and he's just a good storyteller when it comes to not having to be physically involved. Like you've seen with him getting put through an announce table to enhance a storyline, or to be in the middle of Punk and Seth and Roman not knowing what to do, and then just basically like he's known as one of the best, or if not the best, like manager out there in terms of professional wrestling for a reason because of his status and what he brings to the table.
I fully agree with you, and yeah, that's why he gets the NPC award. Everybody, Paul Heyman wins the NPC award for 2025. Yeah, I mean, just what you said with just in the past couple bits and all that. I don't want to say too much because I think more of that conversation is about to happen with our next category. So yeah, I mean, and Vash already hit the Nick Aldis thing. I think he kind of drops the rankings though, just because like, and I'm sure you guys saw that little pre-taped segment or like that cinematic segment with Nick Aldis visiting Drew McIntyre at his house.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And
saw that.
yeah. Nick Aldis, you kind of got a little sneaky side to you, and there's some seeds being planted for Cody, but I feel like that's a conversation we can have when that episode of SmackDown drops, because there was a certain promo I saw that got leaked, and like, oh, somebody's sounding a little heel right now, but that's besides the point. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So yeah, NPC award goes to the one and only Paul Heyman. Good on you. So this is why we're exactly moving on to our next award, the Knife Edge Deathmatch Award. This is going to basically the feud of the year. So two guys just hate each other constantly, just want, or it could be multiple guys or girls and all that, like just multiple people just absolutely despising each other to the point where it's like, all right, you know what? Let's get hard on this. Let's get this knife edge death match underway. So yeah, who is going to walk away with this prestigious award?
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
Exactly. But it looks like the panel is kind of on the same page here. I'm basically going to lump these two together, I think, because I think all three of them are kind of interchangeable here. Seems like our Knife Edge Deathmatch Award for 2025 is going to be going to Seth versus Punk / versus Roman. Just a big old three-way brawl between the guys. So I'm just going to ask you guys why you picked both of these, or I guess the same one. So Vash, why did you go with Seth versus Punk versus Roman?
If I could detour, can Drab go first so I could grab something real quick?
Oh yeah, of
from
course.
Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the main reason why I chose this is because at first I wasn't looking forward to it at all, because we were pretty blunt about how Mania was getting structured when it came to a lot of these triple threat matches, and then they ended up being probably the best parts of those shows when it comes to not only the men but the women as well. Because when you look at how this was structured, and I mentioned Paul Heyman in the previous award that we were going over, he has a connection with Roman, he has a connection with Punk. Seth was like the outlier. Seth was like the big mystery. Seth was like trying to provoke things, trying to just have, Paul Heyman go back and forth on what he really wants to do. And then you see like the match take place. Roman comes out on his own. Seth comes out twice. And then you have Punk getting his Mania main event for the very first time. That's another reason why I made this the match award too, for the feud of the year, because you had Paul Heyman walking out with him. You had this fire burns. It was just a great moment overall. The whole segment where it's like, Punk, you got your main event. You finally got your main event at WrestleMania. Just seeing all of that come together in one, it just really hit home for me. And just seeing how well all these guys worked in the ring with one another, not just like match quality alone, but the story that they were telling with one another. And then you got Paul Heyman betraying Roman, giving him a nut shot. Then you got Punk thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to side with this guy. We're going to continue doing things like we did all those years ago. No, he gives him a nut shot. And then you end up seeing him give the chair to Seth Rollins. And then Seth Rollins is able to do what he needs to do, caught us off guard. And he ended up walking out with Seth that night. And that pretty much brought us to where the Vision is now. Obviously, Seth is taken out now. They got rid of him. He's no longer part of this anymore. He's going to be fighting the Vision once he comes back as a babyface. And it just, there's just like a lot of layers to this when it comes to all three of these guys' stories and just everything as a whole. And it just made me appreciate it more, because it's always the things that you don't care for ends up being the thing that really catches you off guard. And this is something that I can probably go back and rewatch over and over again. And I can't say that about a lot of matches. There's only certain matches I have that connection with, and this is something that I can watch. When it comes to the entrances, when it comes to the match itself, when it comes to the ending, it pretty much gave you everything that you needed to have that full course meal. You got your main meat when it comes to the steak that you wanted. If it was a ribeye or whatever the case may be, whatever you wanted. If you maybe wanted an 8-ounce steak, whatever the case may be, and then you got your side with the vegetables and baked potato, mashed potatoes, whatever the case may be. It pretty much gave you everything that you needed. And in all honesty, this is probably like the most compelling that I could really say when it comes to a feud like this year. Because I would love to give it to Cody and John, because that had a lot of potential to it. It really did. But there's some things that took it away from me, and I had to give it to these guys because it was a really good feud. And it's still there. It's still there when it comes to Elimination Chamber, too. The comments Roman makes towards, Punk and everything. And if Seth was involved there, probably have some comments made towards him if he was, still in the picture and everything. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because like there's a few feuds that I wish were, because on paper it's just like, oh yeah, Cody versus Drew, that's a hell of a feud. But what they've given us has been kind of lackluster. Except for what we got this past, before Raw started on Monday. Like I really like that cinematic that they did with Cody showing up at Drew's house like that. Like I thought that was really good. That actually added some sort of heat to their feud. But yeah, I mean, beyond that, it's just like, oh, I wish I could give it to them. Kind of like you as well. I wish I could give it to John and Cody as well, or John and anybody. Like, because John had a few feuds this year, but none of them really like stood out. I mean, yeah, some good promos, like we talked about with like the Punk part, but I mean, we got him and Punk. That was just done. Him and R-Truth, which we'll talk about that later. Him and Lesnar, him and Logan. I think out of John's feuds, like the one he had with Dominic Mysterio was probably the most fun. At least beyond the promo work and all that. Because again, I think Punk's promo battles with John went a little better. But yeah, Vash, do you have anything to add for Seth versus Punk versus Roman for the feud of the year?
I agree and support everything that drops. Said chat. The only thing I would like to add is that this feud is just really, it's really beautiful how at one time early this year, your boy Vash said, yo, maybe Seth is gonna try to get Paul Heyman. And I love how people were like, nah, won't happen. Then a week came by and it happened. I was like, yo, I got that done for you. It's just to see that huge W, just to see what crazy thought that occur and whatever others saw online and be like, you know what, that could happen. And then 2 weeks later, and you actually see it happen, and you be like, oh yeah, the smile, the walk back, the snick, the like, we've been planning this all along. Like, oh, but just the fucking revenge story of where Seven, like, I will have my last breath than ever have you champion CM Punk. Just to see that go from the earlier this year of Raw on Netflix, the first show earlier this year, to even going on the feud still by the end of this year until Seth got hurt. So like that even still happening. So it's just showing that hatred brews and still goes along no matter what.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. So yeah. Again, winner of the Knife Edge death match goes to Seth, Punk, and Roman. Quick honorable mention though. I will mention two of them because I think most of what at least me personally, I have to say deals with their matches that they had this year. So I'm just going to save that conversation for when we talk about the match of the year. But I do want to at least point out Hangman versus Moxley, because finally we got the title off of Moxley after all this time of him just leaving it in a briefcase and just being shit in AEW, like dragging the product down. Thank you, Hangman, for being our hero and saving the title. Now we can actually see that beautiful thing on a weekly basis. But I did think the feud was good, and it did lead to a satisfying conclusion, at least for me. So, and it led to a good match too, as well, between the two. But I at least wanted to highlight that for the Knife Edge death match. But again, Seth, Punk, and Roman take the win here.
Vox Populi, the people's voice.
All right. So moving right along, we have our next award, which I'm not gonna lie, chat. This one was kind of hard to figure out in many different aspects. So this is going to be known as the Meister and Weapon Award. This is going to go to the tag team of the year, because hey, there is tag team wrestling in our wrestling. It's just, sometimes these companies don't want to remember that we have tag team wrestling for some reason that I don't understand why.
Because you need a reminder, it's 190 days that the Wyatt Six are tag team champions on SmackDown.
So again, tag teams
190
do
days.
exist.
190, 190, just to be aware. I didn't even know they were up to those numbers, by the way. I thought they were
Yeah.
on the 90 or 100. I didn't know a whole 90 days were on top of that. So just saying, that's why I'm putting that emphasis, chat. 190.
Yep. But again, the Meister and Weapon Award.
We're going to Candy Mountain. Come with us, Charlie.
Okay, Charlie. I was going to say, nice name for this award category. I could have said you could have also gone with Batman and Robin.
Thought about that, but then one person would have to be Robin. So because at least with a weapon in the Soul Eater universe, they can at least fight by themselves to an extent. But it's when they fight together with that soul resonance, if you will, that magic truly happens. So, Vash, who is your Meister and Weapon Award nominee?
Yo, Street Profits, they're good on the mic. They had a good story to some point, and they was champion for like 35 days or 45 days ish. So that was fun. So Street Profits are solid. Wish I could say more because they just keep getting fucked by Wide Six or just honestly the booking. But I'll say them. They're great. That's my choice. Cutthroat and simple.
Yeah. And I think the one thing with them is the fact that because they are great, but they just keep getting screwed out of each other, or at least screwed out of every title match they're in. Plus, did they just scrap the whole idea of them breaking up? Because when was the last time they've even been on TV?
October. I believe October, September.
Wow.
It's already December.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
See, there's a reason this was hard to even come up with any, and mainly from WWE. Like, I had a couple honorable mentions for tag teams, but I mean, two of them are from AEW for kind of obvious reasons. But WWE's really been dropping the ball with their tag teams.
Yep.
As you can see, there's not much to go on when it comes to conversation with tag teams, except for they had a couple good TLC ladder matches this year, which again were really good. Standout
one
matches.
Mine below.
Yeah, but it's like,
in all
anything
honesty,
else?
I mean, in all honesty, I mean, I'll say mine's Fraxium just because they really been starting to kick the gear into what tag team wrestling needs to be. But I'm honestly think we might have to give it to Hurt Syndicate in our honorable mentions, to be honest.
I mean, this you know what? This might be a new thing where it's just like executive decision because I don't like both of your choices.
No, because I wanted to.
I hate both of your choices, but yeah.
I know I hate mine too, but it was the only thing that really came to mind. But if you look at it, in all honesty, even though I don't watch AEW on a regular basis, I just see what I see online or I hear from whoever I obviously listen to. They're definitely the ones that stand out to me because I mean that's the most positive that really comes out of tag team wrestling this year.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones that really I was gonna say it's the only ones that really have any sort of significance this year is as of recent. It's just AJ and Dragon Lee, and they haven't even had it that long yet. So I'd rather give it to some team. Yeah, and I'd rather just give it to a team that's been doing a lot more this year.
Yeah, and because that's the thing. Hurt Syndicate they've also been elevating their tag team division. They had this thing where it's just okay, you guys want us. I mean, that's fine. We're not saying no. It's just you kind of have to earn that opportunity. You got to at least win a match or two before you face us and all that. Even if it's against some jobbers on the roster, hey, at least you put in some work. At least you put a W up on the board. Great, fine. You can have your tag team match. That's fine. So that in a way kind of pushes the division further a little bit. And even another of the honorable mentions I'll put on here, Bro Dito, they were putting on some banger matches this year when they held the titles and all that. So shout out to them because at first they were just kind of a thrown together tag team, but hell, they were able to do something with it. Again, a lot more than WWE did. I just don't understand what WWE's problem with tag team wrestling is.
They're
I
allergic to
just
it.
don't get it.
So
Yeah,
easy to execute.
I don't get
too.
it.
You got so many great teams.
Like, yeah, like, and especially from Triple H's perspective, like he was a guy that like led NXT during like a peak of tag team wrestling. I mean, FTR versus DIY, DIY versus AOP. I'm sure I'm skipping a few others too right now, but like even the New Day versus the Usos, like they were going to war back in the day, and it's like they have a match this past Monday, which you could see the life back in the New Day for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah.
And I mean that's about it. That's about all we got, you know. And even this Usos return is probably just going to be for the short form, because I see more of a Jey Uso heel turn coming up than anything. So yeah, we're gonna give it to our honorable mention. We're gonna give it to the Hurt Syndicate and all that. I put Motor City Machine Guns as well as an honorable mention because I mean they're just a really good tag team. Like,
And they did debut earlier this year, right? I believe, right? Earlier this year.
It was late last year, but
Late last year.
Yeah.
Tomato, you know.
Fish
So,
Rush.
yeah, so good job, Hurt Syndicate. You moved from an honorable mention to the winner of the Meister and Weapon Award. Gotta love it. By the way, chat, you know, if you haven't watched Has Been Hotel already, go watch it. You know, despite what you might think of the creator, go watch the show. The show's really good. The music's really good as well. Oh man, but here we go. We've reached now the Tournament of Power Award. That's right. Those pearly whites. That's right. The Tournament of Power Award is the award that's going to go to the event of the year. This is any pay-per-view, PLE, special events like a Saturday Night's Main Event or like a AAA Worlds Collide kind of thing. This goes to the best event of the year. So, guys, come on in with your picks, with your choices, with your nominations. Vash, what is your pick for event of the year?
So, I found a loophole since you said event. I chose event day. Remember the event we did that it was 3 events in one day? It was All In, AW, Saturday night main event, the nighttime, and then the afternoon was NXT American Bash. That triple PLE was amazing to watch. Very crazy and hectic.
See, here's the thing. That's not a loophole because those are still 3 different events. So pick an event, good sir.
AWON.
Going the AEW route. All right, why are you picking that?
I would say AWON or the next contender is Evolution. That's like my close to and everything. But AW that weekend was very weak. When it came to 3 PLEs in one day, it was overwhelming for any wrestling fan. When you're trying to watch all 3 events, if you're a fan of the product and a fan of the developmental. However, when it gets overwhelming when you try to do 3 events. But AW, not sponsored. We don't have HBO Max or anything like that. So I was watching it through the high seas. And I would say, even though with its buffering and the issues, the event was a blast. You will still contained within the story, and it was pure hectic of I think 8 hours. I didn't watch the last hour, but eventually I did in the future. During the event, I think it started like the pre-show like at 12 p.m. and it didn't end until like 9 p.m. It was unbelievable, of almost like a 9-hour event, including with the pre-show. Without the pre-show, it was a 7-hour event. Still, nonetheless, hectic. pack with 11 matches, insane, but still entertaining as hell. So that's to me my PLE event of the year.
Okay. All right. Solid choice. Solid choice. I mean, I gotta respect the idea of the loophole, so I'll at least throw that out there. But nah, you can't get one behind me. Nah. I see through your deception. I've learned from Kakashi, good sir. So drop. What is your pick for the event of the year?
So for me, it would probably have to be the Elimination Chamber, which was probably the only PLE out of WWE this year that I would probably give a 10 out of 10 to. And the reason why I say that is because every match heading into that event was story driven. There was progression. And what I mean by that is you start off with the women's Elimination Chamber match. Right before that even starts kicking into gear, you have Jade Cargill coming out, and we find out what the answer is to her attacker, which is Naomi. She ends up beating Naomi inside of the chamber. She ends up just dragging around everywhere. Naomi spots out of there. You pretty much have everything escalate from that point on with them. And then you also have like Bianca's like reaction throughout the entire thing, which was just shows like how real it is. And then when it comes to like who won the match, it was Bianca. Now you got that triple threat between her, Rhea, and Io. And that just makes things more interesting because, you know, it's very unpredictable. You got 3 top stars a part of that event itself at WrestleMania. So you really start kicking things into gear when it comes to the progression of the storyline with the attacker. Now, Bianca has that on her mind, but she also has WrestleMania on her mind when it comes to her getting a shot for a world title at the event itself. So you have 2 things going on at the same time for her. And then you also have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn when they had that unsanctioned match, which I completely forgot about that, if I'm being honest, before I even started talking about it, because I'm looking at the match list right now. But that's another match that would easily slot in for the next conversation as well, when it just comes to like how far those guys were willing to go in that match based on what they were, you know, going back and forth with at that time, when it comes to just that hatred that Kevin Owens has been having, you know, ever since he turned heel and he did all those things with Cody and moved on to Sammy. I mean, this was essentially what we wanted originally as a WrestleMania event, but we got it here, and it was the perfect setting for it. It was in their home turf, so the story wrote itself. And then that's when you had the return of Randy Orton. Randy Orton returned. He teals the punt kick and everything. That's pretty much how you had things set up with him and Kevin Owens. Obviously, it didn't take off at WrestleMania, but it was still there because it just added to everything that was going on within those span of months. And then you had the whole thing with John Cena going up against CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins. You had a story in that you had a story within itself going on with multiple things with all those guys. You had it not only being John Cena's last Elimination Chamber match, but you also had the story building to that triple threat with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, when you have Seth Rollins get eliminated, and then it's just Cena and Punk, and then he just doesn't want to see Punk win, so he just stomps him. Cena takes that advantage. He pins him. He goes on to, you know, challenge Cody at WrestleMania. So now you got that story going on. Now you had the whole thing going on with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest within the match itself as well, when it comes to Damian Priest always getting like a one-up over Drew McIntyre. So you just had multiple threads happening there. And then I'll go a little bit more in depth with my reasoning once we get to it later, but you also had how the show ended, but regardless how you feel about it, it's still a significant moment in history when it comes to the unpredictability of it, of John Cena turning heel. And it's an iconic shot. I'm pretty sure someone around this world has it framed in their house, where John Cena just looks at the camera and just as he's hugging Cody Rhodes, and then The Rock just does the throat slit, And then you just have The Rock and John Cena and Travis Scott just beat up Cody Rhodes in the middle of that ring. He's all bloody. He sells it very well. And within like that itself, it just elevated things so much. It had a lot of people talking for days because of what happened there. Because a lot of us were thinking, well, they can easily walk into this thing, have a good match, be themselves. They could both toot their own horn when it comes to how much they give to the audience if they really want to venture down that route or whatever. But it's like this PLE itself, it just felt like there was like a lot was marinated here when it comes to what they really did with this event itself, and it just stood out so much to me throughout the year. I can't really say that with any other PLEs for WWE this year. I mean, there's not much really, like there's maybe about like a couple, maybe SummerSlam Night 2. Like there's only like specific things really
Evolution
that stand out for me.
Yeah.
Like just looking at like significant events. I understand Evolution's a significant event, but just talking at like the ones building to the big shows and that's normally a part of the cards. Like this was the one for me personally.
Okay. Yeah, I see both arguments for it. I actually brought up the All-In card just so I could kind of refresh my memory too with some things that I couldn't remember that happened on it. And I think because I'm gonna go with Elimination Chamber, I think, because as much as I loved All In and all that, I think as a whole it did build up a little bit more for what they're going towards past that event. Because like even with All In, like with the MJF winning the Casino Gauntlet match, he just now apparently is cashing in his opportunity for it, which I guess they're changing how that's getting cashed in now. Like you have to sign it backstage and they come out and announce, be like, oh yeah, this is when it's happening, blah, blah. So, okay, he's inserting himself into the match and it's making a fatal four-way now at World's End. Okay, fine, cool, neat. But, it's just now we're getting that. Okay, cool. Dustin Rhodes winning the TNT title, like that was a moment for him, which, great moment for him. It's just not much beyond that because then he got injured shortly afterwards and all that. And I mean, standout matches from the night. I mean, there was the tag match with Swerve and Ospreay taking on the Young Bucks, which was fan-fucking-tastic. You had Tony Storm defeating Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's title, which was also a really good match and gave Mercedes a well-deserved loss, which now we're starting to see the repercussions of Mercedes not being able to win the AEW Women's Championship. So good on them for that. And of course, the main event with Adam Page and Jon Moxley with their Texas Death Match. That was a fantastic match, I thought. But yeah, the other things too, like I mean, we had Okada and Omega on the card, which did not live up to expectations, which sucks to even say in a sentence. Like I kind of feel sacrilegious saying that, but I mean, I'm sorry, this is just my opinion. It did not live up to what they had in the past, and I mean, part of that is mainly because Omega can't really do as much as he used to be able to because of what he had to go through this year. So it's really just a case of limitations with that. But yeah, I mean, I would have to give it to Elimination Chamber. I think that pulls out the win here, just because again, a lot of the setup they had for a future show meant a little bit more than All In, even though again, like All In was a damn good show from AEW this year. Definitely one of their best shows this year. Yeah, so the winner goes to Elimination Chamber. We've already talked about most of the honorable mentions. I do want to point the Saturday Night's Main Event with Cena's last match. Again, that's more just a me thing though, because I was there, so little bit of a bias with that one, but that's kind of why that one's an honorable mention, because it was a good show despite some people questioning the booking for whatever reasons they have, which okay, whatever. But yeah, the winner is the Elimination Chamber 2025. There we go. Don't worry, everybody. We're getting towards our final awards here. Oh, this one's gonna be a doozy, though. We'll get through this doozy here, folks, because this next one's gonna be a good one. This is gonna be known as the Get These Hands Award.
Don't cream your pants.
Yeah. This is gonna go to the match of the year, the very best, the match that just had us at the edge of our seats, the match that just wanted us to see who would win, the match that like really just epitomized what professional wrestling is for us, especially in the year 2025. So Vash, go ahead, give us your thoughts, your opinion. Who do you think gets these hands and gets that award?
Io, Rhea, and Bianca.
The
triple threat. The triple threat. That's for me. Like it was, I believe Sports Illustrated gave it 5 stars. I believe actually, not that thing about it. I believe I saw that.
I'm sorry.
I believe I saw, or it was Bleacher Report. Not that I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
One of these sites, said it that 5-star rating. This match was solid. The triple threat of WrestleMania night 2, I believe.
Yeah,
the opening.
Because it started the show.
Okay, so the triple threat, and it's one of my favorite matches of this year. Very solid. It's just great wrestling and great coordination from all 3 ladies.
Yeah.
It was Io won.
Yeah, Io, surprisingly, like a lot of people thought that like either Rhea or Bianca would win by pinning Io, but Io won, and I remember we were shocked, but all just extremely happy that she did, because it was a hell of a match. Like some of the counters and reversals from that match still get talked about to this day. Even just like the breakup pin from Rhea, just like shouldering Bianca and Io and all that. Like it match was filled with a lot of good spots. So
it's crazy
I can see why.
Since that match, Bianca's been out of ring. Since that match.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully she's better now. Apparently it's getting better. I don't know. Apparently there have been maybe some complications with
my own
recovery. I don't know, whatever. But Drop, what is your pick for the match of the year?
So that choice, I wouldn't argue with at all for the first one, because that was a great match between them. But for me, I'm going to have to say John Cena versus Cody Rhodes 2. I want to specify 2 because that first match was god-awful. But their second match I really loved, because this is what we should have gotten at WrestleMania. And that would have made that moment hit even harder. But the reason why I really loved this match is because John Cena was giving us John Cena. John Cena was giving us Super Cena. John Cena was giving us the John Cena that we saw growing up. This was him right here going all out in this match against Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes was giving it his all. Cody Rhodes was going extra miles to get where he needs to be in order to prep this match. And another thing that made it fun as well is the fact that it was a street fight, which already enhanced the entire match itself. When it came to him and Cena moving around in the crowd, or John Cena going underneath the stage and then having him over his shoulders as like the light is focused on him and everything, I just really loved it, because we talked about earlier, like how, you had Obafemi going up against the face of the company. This is essentially like, John Cena's passing of the torch moment, which I mentioned to you before a couple months ago, or maybe recently, I don't remember. That's another reason why I like this match, because when I look at matches, I look at the significance of it, and then I look at the quality of the match itself. this to me was a proper passing of the torch match when it comes to John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Because I remember when John Cena was talking to Cody Rhodes in the ring, he's like, you got me at my 100% right here. And it was just a very emotional moment where you had John Cena handing him the title. You had Cody doing the salute before he took out John Cena for the 1, 2, 3. There's just like a lot of weight behind this match that I really wished we got with WrestleMania, but they definitely like fixed their giant mistake that they had here with this match itself. I just liked how we were able to see these guys in their true form, the way that they're supposed to be seen. Like, this is the John Cena that we should have saw all the way back in January up until this very point. But we didn't get that. And I'll express my thoughts on that in just a little bit. But it's like, yeah, that's why I chose this match. It just means a lot to me. It's something that I could probably print and put it on my wall of just Cody and John standing in the ring with like both of their arms up and everything. It was just a very heartwarming moment between both of these guys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. See, this is a tough call because both of these are up there for me as well for match of the year. Like, because one has the in-ring work that I love so much, like the in-ring storytelling that you get with the triple threat. And I mean, the same with John Cena and Cody, but like John Cena and Cody had more of the sports entertainment aspect of it, which again is fine and all that. But yeah, oh my gosh, this one's tough. This one's really tough. Yeah, because both of them have like really good options, really good reasons. You know what? I'm gonna go through the honorable mentions while I prolong the decision for the winner. Because yeah, there is a bit of a list for honorable mentions. Some of them from the AEW side. Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay in that steel cage match at Revolution this past year. Jesus Christ, those guys went to a war. And I mean, that you could say that a lot with a lot of AEW matches, but legitimately, like when you had Kyle Fletcher do that flip from the top of the cage onto Will Ospreay, that was just brutal. Like that, fantastic match from them. And again, from the same night too, we had Tony Storm versus Mariah May in that Hollywood ending match, effectively killing off Mariah May in AEW. Because like after that, she went to WWE NXT and became Blake Monroe. So very fitting end. I still feel like that match should have ended Revolution. That should have been the main event, but that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. Hangman versus Ospreay at Double or Nothing. This was the final of the Owen Hart tournament. Really good match as well, because a lot of people thought Ospreay was going to win. But Hangman also had the option to win. He had a lot riding in going into this match, especially story-wise with him trying to go on this redemption run and all that. So yeah, I thought they put on a very good match in that final of the Owen Hart tournament. Again, Hangman versus Moxley at All In. I already talked about that earlier. Punk Rollins Reigns at Mania Night 4 or Night 1, sorry. We already discussed that earlier too. So, go ahead and check that time code to hear our discussion about that. I did put Sami Zayn versus Dragunov in here because I think out of any of the TV matches, I think this one like takes the cake, not only because it's our Saiyan Zara coming back into the fold and all that, but it was just a really good match between the two. Like some sort of fire that we haven't seen in Sami Zayn probably since the Kevin Owens feud, if we're being honest, like all year. So yeah, that one's on there. AJ versus John Cena at what pay-per-view was that? What PLE was that? Wasn't WrestlePalooza. It was after that. It
was Crown Jewel, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, in Australia. Yeah, that was just a fun match. That was a hell of a fun match with just a bunch of finisher spammings and all that. just really great time with that. And yeah, the Street Profits versus Fraxium and some other tag teams, like I think it was like Motor City Machine Guns, DIY. I know the Wyatts were involved in one of them. That was like the SummerSlam one, and then there was the one around WrestleMania, which I forgot the team that wasn't involved. That wasn't the Wyatts. But anyways, like those matches also banged as well. Like those latter TLC matches, a bunch of carnage. Really fun time had. Man, I thought going through the honorable mentions like that would help me come up with a winner.
And you made it harder,
With a
didn't you?
winner. Yeah, because oh my gosh. Mm. Mm. Oof. It hurts. It legitimately hurts. I'm going to triple threat. I'm going the triple threat, I think. Because I think that one just had a lot of the in-ring action that I miss from WWE. Just beyond the John Cena, Cody Rhodes stuff. Like, and literally, this is like neck and neck. Like, this is like a 9.9 against a 9.8. Like I think just with those three, with Ia, Rhea, Bianca, they had such great chemistry going into this. And plus we got the winner being a surprise for a lot of people, because again, a lot of people thought Io was going to eat the pin. No, she actually won this match. What? Okay, and now she's teaming with one of the people that she beat at WrestleMania. Awesome. That's great. There's some good story coming from that.
Mm-hmm.
Going out of it. But like, yeah, I think what sucks though is Bianca hasn't been around after that. You know, again, injuries happen, so she can't really help that. But you know, at least Io and Rhea have been able to continue forward with what they're doing right now, being in a tag division for a little bit, and hopefully, you know, afterwards getting back into the singles division, because they're kind of better singles competitors. And I mean, personally would rather them in that aspect when it comes to wrestling. But yeah, just this match was just really good. It was just really good. And that's no knock against John Cena and Cody Rhodes too, because what Drop said was just really to the point. This was definitely Cena's best match this whole year. And that's saying a lot, considering, you know, some of the bangers that he had after this match. But yeah, it's going to the triple threat for the women's world title at WrestleMania Night 2.
Vox Populi, the people's voice.
There it goes. There we go. But hey, we've reached the next one. Oh, we are at the Peak Fiction Award.
Get a load of this.
Ah, yes, we're going to get a load of this. All right, this is going to go to the brand of the year. So tons of wrestling brands, whether they're televised, not televised, they're all out there. We're going to talk about the best one. And it looks like our two panelists here, our two competitors here, if you will, are in agreement with the Peak Fiction Award, the best brand of the year. So go ahead, Drop, because I can't really see Vash right now. So Drop, go ahead, give me your reasoning why you chose NXT of all brands as the brand of the year.
So I want to say the main roster, but they've been having it rough this year. But with NXT, there's been a lot of significant things happening on that show when it comes to all of these rising stars, especially, which is one of the main reasons why I put it to be nominated for this award, because NXT is really shaping the future when it comes to Ricky Saints, which again, just throwing a moment in there, having him appear in the crowd, a lot of people chanting Ricky Starks and all that. I remember you guys were in the middle of recording Weebs Lounge, where there was actually a reaction of you and Vash when I sent you guys that clip of Ricky Saints just walking in there, and you guys are like, holy crap. I mean, he just got out of his contract, and here he is the next day just arriving in NXT, just showing us that, yeah, this is where I wanted to be afterwards. And then, of course, you have Mariah May now as Blake Monroe there. So you just have like a lot of talent there. Like if I can just like name them on the top of my head just to look forward to, you got Obafemi, Javon Evans, you have Ricky Saints, you have Sol Ruka, which I'm super high on. I would definitely like, put her in a category years from now when it comes to like most improved because she's only going to keep on getting better. And then you got Zarya there. You have Blake Monroe there, which she's been great on there as well. You have Kalani Jordan. You pretty much have like so many people to like pick and choose from, especially when Stephanie Vecker and Julia were on there around that time. There was just like a lot to look forward to every single week on the show. And whenever I wasn't feeling the main roster, I watched NXT and I was actually able to get some enjoyment out of it, especially when it comes to the quality of their PLEs. Because one thing that I can't disagree with that people throw around is that Tony Khan's known to be Mr. PLE because he does put on a lot of good quality pay-per-views over there in AEW. But I mean, I can't disagree with Sean not being a part of that as well. Maybe not at the same extent, but he definitely does have a good track record when it comes to a lot of these PLEs. As I remember a lot of people were saying that NXT Deadline was a better show than Survivor Series. Like a lot of people enjoyed Deadline a lot more than that show itself, which I mean, hey, I can't disagree with you because that Survivor Series is very underwhelming. So it's like NXT is always there for you where it's like, all that stuff that you see on the main roster, this is how it's really supposed to be presented. Like we talk about all the time, we do our SmackDown coverage. Oh, what's going on with this women's roster on SmackDown? You look at the women's roster in NXT, they're always the main focus there. Same thing with the tag wrestling. All of our complaints on the main roster shows, all of that is completely okay on NXT when it comes to their focus on multiple fronts. Their main struggle really is just their men's division when it comes to like who their key players are in the main event. There's only a few you could really pluck, like Javon Evans, Obafemi, and Ricky Saints. That's not really saying much. There's that's definitely a struggle that they have, but you could always lean on them. So that's why I wanted to nominate it for that.
Okay, all right. Well, Vash, why did you nominate NXT?
Even Rem and Ram are wondering where he is.
They're like, what happened to him? Did he return by death? Is that it? Is that the case? Well, while Vash is, recovering and being revived and all that. Yeah. So I kind of agree with you when it comes to the main roster. Like, I mean, I know I don't watch a lot of NXT, if really at all. But I could see where you're coming from when it's like, okay, you don't see the correct booking from the main roster. Go watch NXT. You could see some of that. You could actually see talent being utilized, like the women, for example. I don't know much about the tag team division because really I don't know who the tag team champions are in NXT right now. And I mean, I remember NXT being the tag team division champions, if that makes sense. Like they were the ones to watch for tag team wrestling. And it seems like it's kind of flipped to like be more of like, okay, well, here's where you watch almost arguably the best women's roster on many shows. I mean, they definitely were saying that when Julia and Stephanie Vercare were on there. So yeah, there's a reason that was being touted as one of the best ones because they had a lot of good talent on there. So yeah, I could see the arguments for NXT. And I mean, when it comes to AEW, it's just like, yeah, they falter on a lot of things, but again, Tony does know how to put on a pay-per-view, like a big show to make it kind of worth your money at a point for a certain point. Because hey, at least you're getting a lot for what you're paying for, and I mean a lot within those shows. Like those shows can be pretty bulky, but I mean, quick honorable mentions, I guess. I mean, TNA, they've been making leaps and bounds, I think, with their partnership with WWE.
And they will be
Despite,
on
you know,
TV starting next month as well. Congratulations to them. So
Mhm.
we'll be seeing them on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. EST, I think.
I think so. Sometime around there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got their TV deal now. Mainly, let's be honest, that's thanks to the WWE influence. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they've come leaps and bounds when it comes to TNA, and I mean, kind of the same with AAA. Like they're getting a huge exposure with their partnership with WWE. I mean, you have Dominic Mysterio right now as their mega champion, and you know we're getting some of the talents crossing over to NXT. Like we keep seeing Mr. Iguana, who broke out earlier this year from the Worlds Collide event. Him and Layeska are just running rampant on NXT. We've seen Vikingo on NXT a couple times, main roster I think a couple times as well. But yeah, they're at least being shown and featured a little bit, which is good. And it seems like it's been boosting numbers down there as well, boosting interest too. So yeah, good on them as well. But yeah, it seems like NXT is taking away the Peak
Yes.
Fiction Award for 2025. Vash, did you have anything to add for having NXT as the best brand of the year?
Nope. Drop said it perfectly.
Well, goody gumdrop. Good, because now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, the horrible, the horrid stuff. This is going to be known as the Excalibur Award.
You pathetic amateur!
Mm-hmm. Or better yet, hold on, no, that's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted.
Oh, there's another one too.
That's a good.
It comes from a girl who loves machine guns.
Oh,
I
it's bullshit.
Yeah, I do have that one on Meister.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Here it is. Oh, come on, you soundboard piece of donkey poo.
Bullshit.
There we go. Oh man, the Excalibur Award for the bullshit, the worst thing from wrestling in 2025. This could be something, whether it was booking, whether it was anything outside of wrestling, whatever have you. We're gonna mention it. But it seems like the two guys here are in consensus. They're in an agreement that the worst thing from wrestling in 2025 was how John Cena's heel turn was handled. Just a quick preface with this, because I think I do agree with you, Drop, earlier when you were talking about Elimination Chamber, where it's like the moment itself of John turning heel is really good. Excellent. No notes from that. But it's everything that came after it that is complete and utter bullshit. So go ahead. Vash, I want you to go first. Now that we can see your lovely face.
Guys, want to say the reason my lights are off is because doing a stream earlier and then this right now, the lights are killing my eyes. My eyes are like, yeah, we tired. And also doing photography this morning. So just, dealing with light this morning and then stream and then here. My eyes are just being shut down from the lights. But I got you right here, so that's why I'm here for this session right here to tell you. I love how John and his interview with Chris, and I think this interview Cody Rhodes in What Do You Want to Talk About? I love how John is like, Travis Scott, The Rock, who are they? What happens? Fuck them.
Dip the dicks in the dirt.
Obviously, yeah, the dicks in the dirt. Thank you. Chat, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the interviews. They're very solid. Like both interviews are very solid. I didn't get to hear the full one with Cody Rhodes as the first person to interview John while he's retired. However, the reason I'm saying this is because I know Drop can add a lot more details or sprinkle what's already been said or what we haven't said already for the past 12 months. But the heel turn, it was something that Triple H wanted to do because of an impactful moment. Literally words that were said from John Cena from Chris' interview that Triple H decided to do something impactful. He just spoke to John. He said, "Hey, we want something impactful to end the night," and they say heel turn. He did the heel turn, and guess what? There was no fucking consequences. There was no storyline after, and that is disappointing as a fan. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, Drop, go ahead and elaborate on the horrids that was John Cena's heel run.
So my main issue with John Cena's heel turn was how it was handled afterwards. And what I mean by that is when you see the moment, like you said, that's always going to be there. It was great. I can go back and rewatch it every single time because nobody ever expected him to turn heel. It's just John Cena showing this new side of him just felt incredibly forced. Like every time I watched him on television, I could just tell just by how he was talking. And I believe I mentioned it maybe a couple times. And I also know that you guys mentioned it as well, where it just seems like he's just feeding himself at lies. Like this isn't the kind of person that he is. It just felt like really awkward. It's almost like you're auditioning for a role for a certain part and you're working your ass off to get that certain part, but then you get something else and you're just trying to play the part because one, you want to get your money's worth out of it. And then two, you want to set a good example for the people that you're working with. But at the same time, deep down inside, you're lying to yourself because that's not who you want to be. You don't want to be the hero. You rather go off and be the villain, or you don't want to be the villain. You rather go off and be the hero because that's what you studied for to be. You studied that character that you wanted that role for. You didn't want this one, so now you just feel like it doesn't come off like organically. Like he didn't really sound convincing to me throughout his entire heel turn, which really messed it up for me. Sure, he had a couple good promos here and there. I mean, it's hard for John Cena to really miss a promo. That's one of his specialties. That's what he's known for.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like I couldn't take him seriously. It's almost like I was watching like a cartoon. Am I supposed to laugh? Am I supposed to feel amused? Like some way outside of laughing? Like, am I supposed to take it seriously? Because normally as a heel, you want to be able to take them seriously and hear from their perspective of why they're doing all these things. And probably one of my biggest issues the most with this heel turn is that he sounded very repetitive, and he doesn't normally sound like this in his promos, but as a heel, he sounded very repetitive in his promos because he always felt like he was saying the same thing every single show I said him, always attacking the audience over and over and over again. I get it. You want to say it the first time, the second time, that's fine. But once you do it every time you come out and you start poking fun at the fans and doing this or that, and some heels do it well where it makes sense, it actually rolls off the tongue pretty good, but he just felt like he was repeating the same thing. It's almost like he was talking to the wall. And then the words just kept coming back. Like, I couldn't get behind it. I couldn't take it seriously. That's why when he turned face before he had that match with Cody, I'm like, yeah, this is John Cena, because he feels like he has all his ammunition here. When he's a heel, there's no bullets. There's nothing for him to use to shoot at. It's not for me. I did not like it at all whatsoever. I thought it was awful. And you would think, since this is John Cena's retirement tour, you would want to enjoy it all the way through. But if you look at the parts that really stood out the most, it was the times when he was a face. The beginning of the run with when he came on that Raw, and when he was at the Royal Rumble, when they had that big moment of him being at his last Rumble there, and then everything that happened in the chamber. But then once you started fully getting into the heel turn and seeing what he was doing with all that's like, and quite honestly, I don't use this term much, but it's like, I want to turn off my TV. I don't even want to watch this. But once everything kicked into gear and he was the John Cena that we saw, like, it was just a lot better through. Because you look at it too, it's like Cena versus Cody 2, great match. Cena versus AJ Styles, great match. Seeing Cena versus Gunther, like, towards the end of the year for his last match, great match between the two. Very emotional, very story driven with what was happening there. nothing about this heel turn was executed at all whatsoever. And this is on Triple H and his creative. You take a significant moment, and not just 2025, but in wrestling history, to turn somebody that you never thought would be a babyface. I'm not saying it's at the same level as Hogan, because it's really hard to top something like that. That's probably never going to be topped. But if you want to come to a close second, because I can feel confident in saying Cena's probably like a close second when it comes to really reaching that level in terms of importance of a heel turn, because nobody expected that to come out of him. It was handled poorly. It was another Austin thing, like all those years ago, where it's like everybody loved Austin, but once he turned heel and he aligned with Vince McMahon, nobody wanted that. It didn't feel like Austin. It's like,
No.
You're taking who he was as a character and you're having him work alongside the guy that he was fighting towards. That's like CM Punk saying all this stuff towards Vince McMahon all these years ago, and then all of a sudden, let's be friends. No, he still does it till this day. He stays true to the character. John Cena, he didn't feel organic. That's my main issue with that.
Yeah, and like they even try to spin it on multiple occasions, like, "Oh, John, you're so blind," and all this, and like this whole heel run, it kind of ruined a lot of other things too. I mean, if anything, it was the biggest example of like WWE and TKO's desire for money.
Oh yeah,
because they were just pricing people out the ass, and as it's interesting because like I look at the honorable mentions. And a lot of this stuff you can kind of tie in to Cena's heel run here. Because, like, with WWE and TKO just loving money and just giving a shit about money, like, I mean, obviously, there's a part of them that should because they are a business and all that. But, like, it's almost become greedy to a point. But, like, it's interesting when you look at it because this is like, okay, this is the year of John Cena's final run. Are they hiking up the prices because of Cena and like his asking price in general? And they're having to like meet in the middle with any of that? Or do they actually just hate all of our wallets and want to just price out the normal guy from attending any shows? I don't know. Who's to say? We're not in the room where it happened, so we can't be that fly on the wall to hear all this. But it also ruined another superstar, which is also in this honorable mentions, R-Truth, because we had that weird story.
Ron
like,
Killings.
R-Truth. Yeah, it's like R-Truth is no longer with the company. You have this backlash that came from the internet, just like, why the fuck is R-Truth not part of the company? That's stupid. And then he gets re-signed, but now he's like Ron Killings, and he's a quote unquote heel or quote unquote serious. But then we just drop that when Cena turns face again, and it's just like, oh, John, thank God you're back and all that. And I mean, R-Truth is still on TV today, and he's a gem, on TV and all that. But it's just like you lost all that forward momentum. You have this thing with like this R-Truth stuff. You have it be part of your Unreal show, your show that's like behind the scenes and all that. And I'm sorry, I still think the whole thing was a fucking work. I still think so. And people can be like, oh, but his son fucking went online. It was just like, it's not a work. Guys, this is the same company. This is the same business that had Seth Rollins walking around in a damn boot for almost a whole month to be like, oh, I'm injured. I can't cash in on CM Punk or Gunther at SummerSlam. Oh, I'm just going to come out to the stage and be like, oh, you can't run away from me forever. I'll get back. I'll heal up. Oh, wait a minute. Fake Rooney, spump a pitch. And like, so this is the same company that does things like that, which that's also going to be on Unreal. Fun fact, everybody. So it's like you have that on Unreal. It's like, okay, was this even real? Was this fake? Is this you just trying to manufacture a story? Which, I mean, on one hand, there's the aspect of it's like, okay, that's kind of cool that you're doing it like that. But then on the other hand, it just kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth because you're like, oh, you just kind of play with my emotions right there. Like you gave me the the idea that I had a voice, that I had an option, that I could actually like be like, hey, we don't like this and all that. Um, I don't know, man. It's just, but like that was part of Cena's heel turn. You know, we had R-Truth interfere during the Randy Orton match. We had Seth Rollins trying to cash in during the CM Punk match. We literally had John Cena teaming up with Logan Paul and giving Logan Paul a damn rub through like the heel turn and eventual face turn as well. When they had, like, granted, the match was good at Clash of Paris, but like still fucking Logan Paul. But you know, that's par for the course when it comes to that. Yeah, it's just I keep looking at the honorable mentions, and now I'm looking at like the dumb fans thing, because that also kind of ties into not CM Punk, to John Cena's heel turn. Just because I wanted to, but also because like I don't know, guys, it's just he ended his career fine. Just chill out. Like we're getting to the point, and it's not just wrestling. This is just media in general. We're getting to the point where people will spout an opinion and say that it's fact. They will believe that it's fact. They will stand on business being like, oh, that's a fact. It is this. And it's just like, no, that's your opinion. Like, that's not a fact, because, you know, I kind of interpret it differently because, hey, it's artwork. Art is interpreted differently by everyone. But no, you're wrong. You're wrong. Like, there's only a few things I will say that you guys are wrong on. And one of them's Gunther. And I will stand on business with that one, because y'all are freaking wrong with how y'all reacted to that. But I mean, yeah, just kind of talking about our honorable mentions, since, you know, seems like the consensus is John Cena's heel turn. Anything you guys need to get off your chest when it comes to dumbass fans out there?
I mean, I'm just gonna keep on responding to it. I'm not gonna hold back. So throw whatever shot you want at me at TikTok. I'm patiently waiting for somebody to mention how there's a hole in my ceiling. Sorry if there's water issues in the world. Maybe it probably happened to you maybe once or twice. That's probably why things like that appear, and people need to come up with the money to fix that. But throw in any shot at me, I'll respond to you. Like I alluded to earlier about that that whole response about Cena's opponent and everything, or just whatever in general. I mean, I guess to really put some emphasis on it, listen to what we say in our shows, so you don't take things out of context when me, Vash, Whawkins, this is the reason why I'm saying it slow, so you could actually understand what we're saying, because I can't tell you how many times we do these shows and I see these comments on TikTok, especially and I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's what we said. Why are you taking things the wrong way? Like, I had someone coming at me thinking that I said something bad about Braun Breaker, saying it takes the man to be the man. Well, Braun Breaker's already the man. Never said he was. I just said I want him to win without interference. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Never said he never earned his status. Don't take criticism as someone shitting on someone. That's my main issue. Actually, use your ears and listen. Your ears are meant to hear things, not put food in.
I want to always reference this because it's a simple tweet and references that I remember someone tweeted saying, I love pancakes, but then people say, oh, so you don't like waffles? I'm like, but I never said I didn't like waffles. I just said I love pancakes. But you don't like French toast? But I never said that. I never said I don't like French toast. I said I just love pancakes. Why are you taking what I said which I never said? I always laugh about that reference because it's exactly how is media literacy to the fucking max. It's just astounding.
Just by me wearing this simple shirt right now with Eminem on here, people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, Eminem's your favorite rapper. What about all these other people out around? What about the other people that came before him?" I'm like, I never said anything bad about them. Like, you always, I like how when people ask you, "Oh, what's your favorite of something?" and then you say what your favorite is of something, and then they get upset. God forbid, Endeavor is one of my favorite MHA characters. Oh, well, you can't forgive him. I never told you to forgive him. I never said I did either. He's just very well written.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
What you Mount Rushmore. Oh, that sucks.
Oh,
You should be
God.
on there. But you asked me what my Mount Rushmore was, like, and this doesn't just go with us, with as content creators. This goes to any kind of content creator.
Yeah.
Like, they have an opinion, whether they're vocal about it or however vocal about it.
Oh, boy.
It's their opinion. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. Just don't be a dick.
Especially,
Like Brian Zane says, like what you like. Don't be a dick.
yeah.
It should be that hard. But you gotta have these constant reminders for you people. And constant reminders again, honorable mentions. I mean, we had mentioned tag team wrestling. I guess it's non-existent. I guess WWE/TKO don't believe in tag team wrestling. I don't understand why, but I mean, just do better when it comes to that. And on the AEW side, just be more focused, because I do want to tune in to AEW. I do want to be a little bit more engaged with it in 2026 to actually kind of form better opinions and actually like talk more about it. So just do something to like bring more of a focus to it. I mean, so far you're doing fine in this like winter season. I'm at least engaged enough. I did mean to give a shout out, by the way, for the tag team thing with the Babes of Wrath, because I thought they at least got their moment. Cool, great, awesome. But like, it's just like things like that. Like you're actually giving opportunities for people who are working hard, improving, and can be the future of your company. Just keep doing that. Keep getting me invested in the product, so that way we can watch the product and enjoy the product. But again, our Excalibur Award for 2025, the worst thing from wrestling in 2025 is how John Cena's heel turn was handled.
Vox Populi, the people's voice.
But hey, everybody, we got 2 more words to go through. A final question to wrap things up, and we'll be done here. We have finally the cream of the crop, the 2 major awards when it comes to these award shows or people's opinions, thoughts on things in 2025 and all that. This is now the time where we're going to talk about the Sailor Moon Award. Now, this award is for the best female wrestler in wrestling. Whoever the best female from any company, whether WWE, NXT, TNA, AEW, whatever have you. This is for the best girl of all time. Where is my soundboard that I was going to use for this? Why did I scroll past it? You piece of crap doo-doo Discord. Where are you? Come on, I had you up. There you are. All right, Sailor Moon Award. There it is. There we go. All right, but it also looks like our 2 panelists here agree on who wins the Sailor Moon Award. So, Drop, go ahead. Tell me, why does Io Sky deserve the Sailor Moon Award?
So the reason why Io deserves the Sailor Moon Award is because she's really been busting her ass off this year. And I'm glad that the fans finally recognized that, because she was always a standout to me. But it really seems that this year really made her stand out more than ever when it comes to the sympathy that she got from the fans. When it came to Rhea ruining her opportunity to get into the Elimination Chamber. And then seeing how everything unfolded when it was just an Io, when it was just a Bianca and Rhea thing initially heading into WrestleMania. And then just seeing Io come out there, making it known that, hey, I deserve to be here too, because of who I am and what I could bring to the table. And you've just been having a lot of consistent matches with her when it comes to the triple threat at WrestleMania, or her and Rhea at Evolution 2, which was a phenomenal match. And then he also had the match post-Mania, the very first Monday Night Raw, where it was Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. So she's just been in a lot of like star caliber matches. Like every matches that she's been in has been like top notch. And now you have her working alongside Rhea. Now her and Rhea get a shot at the women's tag titles next year. She's been doing really good character work when it comes to like just that emotional part of it, like actually taking what's going on of her and Asuka and like turning it into this ongoing story. So there's actually like a full-on story heading into this match next year when it comes to her and Rhea. It's not just her that has significance in it. Also, all parties involved have that significance in it. She's just been a key player in everything. Like this honestly should have just been where she was inserted to begin with, but it's fortunate it took so long to get here. But I'm glad that she's getting the reactions from the crowd. People care. She was a great champion when she had that title, and I'm just glad that she's finally getting the attention that she deserves. And obviously, if you're focusing her in that WrestleMania Vegas promo for next year, her being one of the key stars in that promo, that tells us as a company that tells us as the audience that, yeah, she's important enough to be a part of that promo package for WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Vash, do you have anything to add when it comes to Io Sky winning the Sailor Moon Award?
Love the name, by the way, for this category. She's the Sailor Moon. Hey, when you have a literally meme gif from and getting the whole crowd, thank you. Job already knew where I was going and leading to. You're having the whole damn crowd leading over there for since Evolution, since the next PoE, and since the events. Everyone's just getting crazy and having the type of chemistry with Rhea, having from the beginning of the year, having Rhea and Io going on feuds to now the end of the year. We have them as the dynamic duo, questionable dynamic that might go against the Kabuki Warriors or might go against the Charlotte Flair and Alexa. Who knows? But Io Sky, I agree, will drop as well. She is my Sailor Moon of the year. She's just awesome to watch, just to see her be part of the stories and just be part of what's going on, just without even a title as well around her. She's still main eventing and part of the bigger picture.
Word. And just a couple honorable mentions. Toni Storm, she had another good year, I thought, putting on some good matches, forming the team with Mina Shirakawa to elevate the tag division just a little bit that they're building down there. Some of the matches that she had for the world title were really good. Again, Mariah May was there. The match with Mercedes is there. Still surprising that she dropped it to Chris Statlander, but it seems like they're pushing that a little bit, which is fine. Okay, cool, neat. Stephanie Vaquer, I think she had one hell of a year as well. I mean, she won both, like a lot of championships this year, actually, because like
NXT North American, NXT main title, crown jewel, and also the world title.
Yeah, so she's had a hell of a year as well. Just in ring, it's just I would like for them to utilize her a little bit more. Maybe actually like produce matches that aren't just so focused on the Devil's Kiss, because even she mentioned in her promo the other night, yeah, I'm more than just the Devil's Kiss. I'm more than
I'm glad
that, and
I'm glad she brought that up.
Yeah,
me too.
Girl was speaking to the audience that people are speaking shit in case you're like, oh, she's just a Devil's Kiss. Like, no, she's more than that. She literally has kick-ass around the world globally. And go ahead.
I was gonna say, see that ties into what we said previously too about dumb fans. Yes, it's a move that captures people's attention. It's no different than like a 5-knuckle shuffle or just one of those key signature moves that you typically see in a match, or just Io doing her signature taunt. She's put on a lot of great matches. I don't understand why that's the standout all of a sudden.
Yeah.
If I could say the next one for Naomi as well, I would say is the heel of the year for me, and she's the what was the word I was looking for? She is the moment of the year, but taking the cashing in Money in the Bank on Evolution.
Yeah, that was a good moment for her. And I mean, congratulations on, about to having a child, but it also kind of sucks because the timing of that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
she had to drop the title, couldn't participate in Clash in Paris and all that. But we'll see her in maybe over a year, maybe like 2027, because yeah, she'll probably be having the baby like what. No, she'll have it in like April. So, maybe it'll be like late 2026. She might come back. But yeah, her momentum kind of stopped because of all that. But again, at least it was for a happy reason other than, oh, I tore my ACL or some shit like that. So good on you, Naomi. But again, Io Sky walks away with the win with the Sailor Moon Award.
Vox Populi, the people's voice.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ignorant children of the Isles, we are here. We have made it to the final award that we're going to give for 2025. It is known as the All Might Award.
How'd that get in there?
How'd that get... Oh man, this goes to the best male wrestler of the year. Vash, I don't see you having a person on here, so I'm going to start with Drop. Unless you agree with Drop's decision, but Drop, go ahead and tell us, who do you think is the best male wrestler of the year?
So normally I would give this to Cody because he always is top notch, but I wanted to switch it up because this is somebody that definitely deserves their flowers, because no matter what Drew McIntyre inserts himself in, he always turns it to gold. If it's a promo segment, if it's a match, even him having that run-in with Obafemi, whenever he involves himself into something, he always makes himself stand out, which is why a lot of people always say, give him the title, let him have a good run with it. Let's see what kind of magic he can capture with it this time, because he still never really had that opportunity to really go that far with that title. Sure, you won it in front of a crowd at WrestleMania, but that was ruined because you had Damian Priest cash in on you, and then he took your moment right away. So it's like he's always the person that you continue to root for over and over and over again. And I want to say it's going to happen again. I'm not too confident on it just because how I know I don't have faith in them. I wish I could say that, but I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't have faith in this company as of right now. They're going to have to convince me next year, 2026. But it's like he just to keep it plain and simple, he turns everything into gold. And if you really want to mold somebody into being a key player, you also want to talk about somebody that does get used a lot, but is also at the same time underrated. It's him. Like, yes, he gets used a lot, but he's underrated. He doesn't get used to the full extent that he should be used, but he's done a lot for me this year, specifically when it comes to what he's involved himself in that makes him stand out to me to be a part of this as the best male superstar of the year, hands down. Always knows all the right things to do.
Yeah, and that's like the problem with Drew too, because like he's so good at what he does, and he is willing to put people over and all that. But like he's kind of made as like this gatekeeper for the main event picture, and it kind of sucks because like Drew McIntyre is not the type of talent to really be the gatekeeper, if you will, for the main event, because he's a lot better than a gatekeeper position and all that. Especially in ring work as well, but also on the mic and on Twitter too, like on social media. Like he's got the social media stuff down pat pretty well. So good on you for your your assistants that you have that help you with keeping up with the social media. But Vash, who would be your top male wrestler of 2025?
So I was stuck at first who to put down,
Mhm.
but Drop gave a good supporting thesis on the choice of Drew McIntyre. My original choice in my head was male superstar of the year was Obafemi or Trick Williams for me when it comes to consistency of the year. Like when it comes to Cody and other superstars, there are some few months they lack or they disappear because of scheduling or whatever reason they may be. But when it comes to Trick, him holding the title of NXT for the first couple months of the year and then holding the TNA title, Obafemi holding the NXT main title for almost most of 2025. So it just shows that both of these gentlemen are right in their own right. But what Drop mentioned explaining his supporting detail when it came to Drew McIntyre, I have to agree. I give Obafemi Trick Williams like a 2 and 3 spot as honorable mention, but I have to agree with Drew McIntyre being our number 1.
Okay. All right. Yeah. all right. Well, I guess that just means that Drew McIntyre wins the All Might Award for 2025. Which, I mean, I'm not mad at. He's you guys said it perfectly. Like the guy knows, he just knows his stuff. He's a consummate professional. He is again willing to put people over. He's damn good in the ring, damn good at promos and all that. And if anything, in this whole thing with him against Cody, kind of on his side with it all. Like he makes a lot of good points. And even though like there's part of it that Drew does kind of screw himself as well in certain aspects, but I don't know. He does have an argument for a lot of these screw jobs that keep happening when he's around.
Yeah.
And just to kind of mention some other honorable mentions. I mean, we had mentioned Cody a lot in this program. Drop said it better as well. Just let's have Cody cool off a little bit. He's already kind of cool right now, so we'll catch up with Cody in 2026. Will Ospreay put on banger matches after banger matches despite being injured, and hopefully now he's able to come back from that injury and continue to put on banger after banger. But gotta shout that out. Hangman Page, he had a great story going into All In with like this whole redemption arc that was going on.
Yeah.
He continued on through that, even though he's not champion now, he's still continuing through that. Like it's actually some good stuff coming from AEW in that aspect. Gunther, I mean, look at the freaking year he had. He became
he did tap out from Jey Uso.
That was a mistake. Oh my god, why didn't we mention that during the Excalibur Awards?
That's
that was
another
the
thing.
biggest fucking like.
By the way,
He could have got pinned.
I do want to mention Sports Illustrated put male wrestler of the year Hangman Adam Page.
Oh yeah,
I don't
that,
agree with their female one. I just saw it.
Oh, with Mercedes, yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like,
but she had belts.
Yeah, that's probably what the argument is for that. If I had to take a guess.
It probably is. But she had belts. Everybody's just like, great. Now she's finally starting to lose them. So now we're finally going to see like the aftermath.
Oh my
of all
god,
this,
we're
like,
humanizing a
again.
character.
Oh, holy shit! Oh my god, it's almost like
Not one-dimensional anymore.
Never mind. I was almost gonna say Endeavor, but then I'm just like, no, I don't want to put her on the same pedestal as Endeavor. That would be unfair to Endeavor, a good written character.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, look at what Gunther's done this year. Fuck that Jey Uso thing, because he at least got the title from Jey back. Kind of righting that wrong too, becoming a 2-time champion, but also having a year where he not only made John Cena tap out and beat him, but he also beat Goldberg. So there's that little couple big notches in his cap. He had a great match against CM Punk at SummerSlam. Like that was also fantastic. The whole tournament he had, like he was elevating the guys that he was with. Both Javon and Carmelo looked amazing in their matches. He even brought Solo to one of his best matches on the main roster. Like Gunther really elevated the talent that was around him, and if that doesn't just scream best male superstar of the year, I mean, I still, stick by what you guys have chose with Drew McIntyre, and I get it, I understand it. So, that's besides the point with that. But like, man, Gunther just had one hell of a 2025, despite having to tap out to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. Like, it's baffling because like you look at that moment and then you just look at the rest of Gunther's year, and it's like that's like the one stain on it all. Is the fact that they booked him to lose.
He tap out.
At Mania
He
like
tap
that.
out. He tap out. He tap out. He tap out. He tap.
At
No.
least it wasn't like a bitch. And that's the bullet he has. That's the bullet he has. Not like a bitch. Not like Vegeta. Not like John Cena. Yeah, I know Vegeta just caught a stray because now I'm thinking of TFS when Frieza's just like, oh, look at him, like a bitch. Oh man.
Young Frieza.
Oh man. But yeah, our All Might Award goes to Drew McIntyre for 2025.
Vox Populi, the people's voice.
And that's it, everybody. That is the first annual Weeby Awards that we've just gone through. We just spent almost 3 hours talking about all this. As we close out the show, we give out outro plugs and all that. I'm going to leave not only you guys in the chat, you guys in the comments and all that. I'm going to leave it to my panelists as they wrap up their final thoughts and everything. What is one thing that you want to see from the world of professional wrestling in 2026? Vash, go first.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm ask for one thing. I'm not gonna be greedy. Ask for 5 things. Ask for 8 things. Be like, yo, can I get this? Can I get this? No. We have a tag team division. Can we please use it to the advantage? We have teams as their Fraxium. Use them. Street Profits, use them. You have the War Raiders, use them. You have the New Day, use them. You brought back the Usos, use them. All right, cool. Jey Uso individual run lasted a year and 9 months, whatever I saw the math being the case. Use them. And just a little asterisk on the side. Use your damn fucking U.S. title championship mid-card women division. Thank you very much. We have these mid-card. We've been asking for a year, and then you guys make it, and then you guys are fumbling it. So please, in this new year that we're entering, the mid-card titles of the IC and U.S. are about to reach a 1-year anniversary. All I need you is to please keep your shit together and get better booking for these 2 things. Please, and thank you very much, respectfully. Namaste.
Perfect. But drop your final thoughts on everything. What is one thing you want to see from wrestling in 2026?
Just a better product as a whole, because this has been the worst year for WWE in terms of Triple H's creative ever since he took over. This year has been god awful.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more lows than there is highs, so I just want a better product as a whole. Like, actually take what you saw here and try to make it better, because even I remember us reporting on a topic news article going around about how they're actually taking things into consideration when it comes to what people are saying and how they want to improve heading into 2026. Because I wouldn't have to come out and say that I lost faith in the company when it comes to a lot of things, because I can make a statement, then I have to say afterwards, I don't have faith in them to actually go there. Because there's a lot of creative things they can do now. Like me and you touched on before on Monday when it came to, oh, what if Austin Theory is potentially secretly working for Seth Rollins? Maybe this is his way of slowly building a team together or slowly working on things from the outside. Once he comes back, he can, head straight towards the vision and take everybody down there. you could look at a very creative story like that. Triple H won't do it. That's my issue. There's a lot of things he can do. Plays it too safe. Take risks.
Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of the crux of it all. Just stop being so safe. Like I can like in the moment I could be angry at something, I can. I could get upset with something in the moment. That's fine and all that. But I could always applaud somebody trying
Mm-hmm.
or at least actively like trying to do something different. I can at least applaud that aspect of it because, hey, again, at least you tried. Did it stick? Maybe, maybe not. That's only for me or anybody else to decide for themselves as well. But at least you tried. You at least did something different, which is usually something I always praise AEW for too.
Mm-hmm.
Is at least they try some different things, whether it sticks or lands. I mean, again, it's that part's kind of subjective in its own right, but I mean, I don't know. I can at least applaud being different in some aspects than being cookie cutter safe. We're gonna do the same thing over and over again. Kind of feel that you get with WWE and all that, but and I think that's one thing I want to see from the wrestling as a whole. Just make me feel for the product again. Like the tail end of this year did help a little bit, but I do remember like a big portion of this year. I'm just like, I, I don't care. I don't care about this. And like we would do a predictions video, and like a lot of us are kind of thinking the same thing. And lo and behold, the thing happens at the event. It's like, all right, well, we kind of called that. Y'all better have like 3 phones active right now to pick up all of our phone calls going on because we fucking called it. Yeah, just do better.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And before he guesses on all of your waffles, because apparently he hates pancakes, so he's just gonna yes on all your waffles. And you don't want Vash to yes on your waffles. That's just gross. It's just sick, disgusting. But hey, without further ado, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here tonight. We've been going on for 3 hours. It's been a great night to talk about all this stuff, kind of break down the year a bit, kind of reminisce a little bit too about what happened and all that. So, we're gonna try to be doing this every single year. We might streamline a few things, maybe edit a few words here and there, or we'll see. It's all dependent too on the year and all of that. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just thank you all for tuning into our end of the year awards show. If you want to get in on the conversation, make sure not only comment down below if you're watching the VOD, not only let us know in the chat, but also check out our social media accounts. All of those links are in the description below. You can also see all the handles too for our social medias in the yellow part of your screen of the video. You see the Anime Studio, the parent company. You see the Weebs of the Ring. You see Legendy Vash, Drop This Box, Whawkins MW. All of our social media handles are right there for you to use and enjoy. You just gotta hit those like follow buttons or whatever they're called on all those platforms, and including YouTube as well, because YouTube is a form of social media. So hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, get notified. Make sure to, because apparently I've been hearing something about like making sure you're clicking on videos or like engaging with products too, to kind of help us be in your feed, whether that's your For You page or your subscription page. So yeah, make sure you guys are interacting a bit more with the page, because hey, we'll be here. We'll help you a little bit. We'll comment with you. We'll talk to you. But the only way to do that is if you do it, because even if we start something, I mean, our starting of the conversation is this right now, but that's just me going on a little tangent right there. So won't worry about that. But you can also check us out on Discord. The links are also in the description below. Yeah. So make sure to like, subscribe, share our video so we can continue on with making content. What will be in store for 2025 rolls in? I don't know. You'll have to tune in to find out. And again, you got to do all that stuff to find out what we're going to be doing in 2025. You have to tune in next time for the Weebs of the Ring Z with that one. But as always, people, Thanks, of course, to our production team for all their hard work to make the show a reality. Thank you to our producers for the work that they put in to make the show happen and all that. Thank you once again for joining us. And I mean, I just always got to remember, just always got to let people know that no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of our podcast, as always. So have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow night. Well, I guess later on tonight for Smack Diggity Down. I want to say, yeah, almost the last live show, but we'll see you tomorrow night for SmackDown. So take care, have a good one, rest easy, and remember, cheese does not belong on pancakes.
Yes, it does, Chad.